All right, here we go. Straight politicking on all you politickers out there. And I'm here with Munchie B, the mayor, my co-host, and we got another guest co-host that I could tell you this, that he don't care about wire transfers, digital cash. The way that we always transfer money, Munch, is what I care about. But Young Ant Jefe don't care about nothing what the check say. And I don't recall the last time I even got paid with a check.
Paper
Hey,
tag.
look,
Yeah.
the check, man. Look, the check come in all forms, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, man, whether it's cash, check form, you know what I'm saying, paper, you know what I'm saying, transfer, wire, you know what I'm saying? The check is the money.
I guess it's just a figure of speech because
For
even though
sure.
we got these digital phones, I think we do still say dial. Can you dial that number for me? Ain't nobody dialing.
I know I say that.
Sometimes I hear dial once in a while. You probably just say call this number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if my kids, I don't know, but hey,
But yeah, we got Young Ant Jefe. We pot of crip in a day.
Young Ant Jefe in the house, and he's the second person to show up to our platform 2 times. I believe the first one was 211, Munch. I think you had him on Richard Hart with Mariah, and then you did another episode with him.
And then Ash Bash came to
Oh, that's right. Ash Bash came twice too. So you're the third person to show up twice, if I got that correct.
Third time's a charm.
Let's see.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Young Ant 2 times.
There we go. There we go.
Ticket, and then 1 time Richard Hart. And then, Ron got interviewed by me, you, and Spider.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, shout out Ron.
Shout out Ron. That's big, bro. He just hit me. this
Ron
morning,
was
man.
here 3 times then.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Ron popped up here 3 times. Okay. And since you said 3 times a charm, I saw that you reacted to the Spokane Indictment, and when you had part 1, part 2, you put part 3 as a charm. I wanted to ask you, what was just your overall assessment of the way that guy, who I don't even know his name, I don't think we even have a name on this guy. He's a face.
We can find him.
Street news and
He
politics.
said he's been arrested. Pretty much like I said, I gave him like a low B minus, you know what I'm saying? He did his homework as far as the paperwork, but like, as far as what the Fed said, he was going off what the Fed said, but I mean, if you know, if you lived it and been through that system, what the Feds say, just because they say someone put a case together don't mean it went that way. So it was just kind of like, it was cool, so I just reacted just to clean certain parts up where he was saying other homies were scared of other people and this has happened and this person was a mid-level distributor, because like how they had me. So basically he said that I was a runner, a mid-level distributor, that supposedly I was working for somebody, but the reason why I got more time than a mid-level distributor is because basically who I was in connect with and who I was from A-Tray, and they was hearing conversations and people keep having my name in their mouth, but like all that was false. Like, I wasn't even supposed to have been on an indictment with the homies. Like, shit, I was out there doing my thing, but like what they had going on, I wasn't a part of that. Only thing you can just stick to me is being from A-Tray and being in Washington. That's it. So that was enough for them. You know what I'm saying? Just being in A-Tray and being from A-Tray and being in Washington. Yeah, you on this indictment, you mess with them.
Hey, look, listening to that, right? I'm going to throw you alley-oop. I want you to do this. Do a song called Fat Nick, bro. And then rap that whole thing about taking down old girl, him hating on you, getting the idea what type of shit he was on when he called you for the sale. You pulled up, you did the thing, and make that all a video. It's like a little story. That's going to be hard. Fat Nick. You can just name the song Fat Nick. I'm like, yeah, bro, they did that.
Yeah, Fat Nick got me 10 years, man. Told on me. They say he got a food truck out there, man, in Spokane now.
Yeah, when we did the interview over there in your section, I just briefly asked you about it, and that was deliberate because I didn't want to go into no details about it. I didn't think this dude was gonna do a whole expose on it
Before he could do it?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I didn't. I knew about the whole thing because we talked about it off camera, but I didn't want to spend 20 minutes on the Spokane case. I think it was a 4-minute clip that I posted.
Something real short.
Yeah, real short. If I knew it was gonna be coming out like this, I would have asked you some more questions about it. But dang, this
I didn't know it was coming out like this. That believe me, I like a lot. Then a lot of people That's how you know people don't know me. But the people who do know me, they already know how I get down, and how I carry myself. So they was just sending it to me like, bro, you seen this? And I'm looking like, hell no. And then other people, on the back, oh yeah, man, man, why they gave him the case? Like, what the hell I'm gonna give him the case for and I do content? I could just put the case out myself, and which I was gonna do in due time. But like I said, the Rap Hustle News dude beat me to it.
Nah, he just probably went to Pacer and got it off the internet.
No, but he
Sure,
said
yeah.
he beat him too. But see, you can't take your time on nothing these days.
Yeah.
You just gotta when you think about it, just get on it.
Okay, so what was your grade you gave him? B
Gave like a
minus.
B minus.
That's still a good
All right,
grade.
I'm giving him a D plus.
D plus.
Why?
The reason why is because he relied solely on law enforcement documents. He could have tapped in with Young Ant and got his opinion on a few things. He could have tapped in with any A-Trays. I'm sure that he's got all the names of the people. He could have looked up phone numbers and get at least 2 or 3 people's response to the case that are home.
Alex,
He did none of that.
what you gotta understand, your style of podcasting is different, and you like a real journalist, and you still use an ink pen and write things down and take notes. You can't expect people to you know what I'm saying, how you do it.
Well, I want to push people to that expectation. Just like, for example, I got a call from the LA Times yesterday about the Big-U indictment, or it's a complaint. And what they're doing is they're talking to both sides. Of course, they're talking to the police. They're getting the police perspective, but they tapped in with me to get my perspective. They tapped in with Skip Townsend to get his perspective. So they're balancing the story with the other side. Homeboy didn't balance it out with the other side. It was solely police information.
Because that's how you supposed to do it. You feel me? And enough dudes out here ain't got that common sense and or integrity, because that's just like me. Like any story, like if I get out here, if I tell a story about me whooping your feet or something happened to you, and even if I know, because I'm not going to put no false content out there, but even if you got a problem with something I'm saying, I'm going to put your story out there too. I want to say, like, you know what I'm saying? And that was the situation that happened. I told a story not too long ago in the county jail about, you know what I'm saying, me running into some dude, you know what I'm saying, and me having to do my thing, and he like tapped in like, hey man, dang bro, you know, yeah, you did that, but like, man, you made me seem like, you know, I was just like a cold buster and this and this and that, you know what I'm saying, like, whoa. And I'm like, man, all right, so what you want me to say? You know, he was like, well, I feel this happened from this perspective, and I just was like, you know, end result, you know, I did what I did, you know, you agree with that, but, you know, this his side of it, this how he viewed it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you definitely, you know what I'm saying, when you speaking on things, you know, you would allow both sides.
And look, Munchie, the author of that video had an obligation to at least reach out to Young Ant because he was extremely accessible. Hey, I'm about to do this video on the Spokane Indictment. I know you was in it. Now you're home. Can I get some reaction, some feedback, or some opinion on what it was?
Yeah, that's only right, based on out of that whole indictment was 60-something people. 62 people. He the one that's in these metaverse streets now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they're all home except one guy, right?
But he the most he in reach out of everybody. Everybody knows Instagram and you know what I'm saying. So you're right. So that's understandable. But like the way he doing it is the lazy and the easier way.
Oh yeah, and I think there's like 2 or 3 channels that are doing that right now.
I mean, whoever did that little 6-minute, 8-minute thing on me, he didn't hit me.
Yeah.
Like that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure, content, man. They trying to get $1, man. They don't care. You feel me?
That's a good point, Munchie. The guy that did the video on you, I'm not sure, was that Hood War Stories?
I can't remember.
Or Warren Cali?
All
There's
the
Warren
names-
Cali and Hood War Stories.
They all sound the same.
And Warren Cali probably did Munchie.
He never reached out to Munch to say, hey, I'm going to be saying this about you. I'm going to be saying this about you. What's your,
No, they ain't reach out to none of them. They did one on Braves. Did one on a few people, you feel me? Like, no, they ain't going to reach out to you. And then, like, with that type of stuff, like, man, like I said, like, and that's what I say. See, I don't care about nothing what the check say. It's just a figure of speech, because I do care about a lot of shit besides what the check say. You know what I'm saying? That's just like a figure of speech.
Yeah.
But a lot of dudes just hop out there and they have a whole uproar in the streets about this content they be putting out there for real.
All right, before we move on from your indictment, the last thing I want to know is, did you ever have a tip or an inkling or some information that the feds are on us before you got arrested? Did you figure out?
Yeah.
How long in advance did you figure out before you got arrested that, damn, the feds are watching us?
Probably like me seeing them, and like probably like 2 months for like probably like about like roughly like anywhere from 45 days to 60 days before we had went down. It was a situation where I can't say my boy name because he didn't even get indicted. He was one of the unindicted co-conspirators, but I had him out there, right? And he was like, he went to go, you know what I'm saying, hit a fade. What that mean, you know, he went to go, you know what I'm saying, serve, you know what I'm saying, who wanted that work. So he went to go hit a fade or whatever, and while he was hitting the fade, like, he ended up peeping the police and didn't do the fade and walked inside the restaurant and threw the drugs inside the trash can and walked out the other side, like, you know what I'm saying, and hopped in the car and got on type and came right to me like, hey, man, bro, this was going on, bro. It's spooky out here, bro, man. Like, and I could just see his apprehension and how he was looking. He kind of spooked me, and I'm like, what? He like, bro, I'm telling you, brother, he like the feds, bro. So then I'm like, all right. So I took heed to it. I hopped on the first thing flight back to L.A., but we had another homie out there, and he hearing what's going on, but he like, man, I ain't caring. I'm fresh out, bro. Look, if y'all want to go to LA, bro, look, is it cool if I just stay right here, bro? Look, I'm gonna work everything. And I'm just like, all right, bro, if that's what you want to do, it's good. You feel me? So we got up out of there. The other homie stayed out there. Then when I got back to LA, I started seeing him one night, man. I'm sliding in the hood, and homies was talking about it because they was outside of one of my homies' houses camping out, and like, it almost got bad because, like, when you just, that's like you in the hood and you seeing a car that you don't recognize, and we not knowing who this car is. So for a minute we thinking it's like, is these like some enemies like trying to sit up? So some crazy stuff almost happened. You know what I'm saying, to that car, until like some homies like, man, hey man, them some white boys, bro. That's the feds. Like, man, y'all really gonna have shit hot. Like, so that's when that was another like, oh, so stop going to that spot. Then one day I'm in traffic riding up Western, and boom, I just see, like, I make a turn, I see this car follow me, and I be in my mirror. I'm always like conscious and observing when I'm driving. I hit a few corners, this car was driving me, and it was like a unmarked car. And so I'm like, let me, I hit this corner right here. So I know like the zigzags and the pace I'm going, like, you can't be going the same place I'm going. You gotta be following me. So when I hit like a few more corners, I see this car did the same thing. I got up out of there on them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's them people. So that's when I knew then, like, oh. So I tell the homie, because the homie, he had just hit me a day prior to, like, he had to just get on from him. So when you start seeing little stuff like that, yep, I definitely seen him. And then, like, right after that incident, probably like 2 weeks later, I probably was in jail, in federal custody.
Damn. So
they peep out and start showing themselves. Not everybody see them, but sometimes they definitely get arrogant. They start, and they like, when they know they got you, they like, you know what I'm saying, they definitely pop out and show themselves, and like, you know what I'm saying, all the, what's up, woo woo, you start seeing little funny stuff, like, for sure. And then you even get pulled over sometimes, like, because some of my co-defendants that got pulled over by state troopers and all type of stuff, and stuff you supposed to went to jail for, you not going to jail for. It's because they still investigating you or about to come get you. Or no, don't even trip, just let him go.
yeah, that should be a number one clue right there. Okay, I want to ask, when the people were going through the airport with 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, and they were letting them through, that should have been an indication, like, hey, bro, they stopped me, they looked in the bag, and they let me go.
No.
It's called a sneak peek.
They ain't letting them know that they saw it.
You don't know about it, because look, you don't know about it, you know what I'm saying, because it was different ways you was hiding your money. So if your money still look intact and you get with your luggage, you ain't knowing they went through your shit. They was sneak peeking. Like, if anybody, so besides the sneak peeks, they was taking the money. If they took the money and they notified you, they probably was trying to get you to work or just confiscated it from you. So that's what made me stop going through the airport. One day I went through the airport, you know what I'm saying, I was going back, had like 80 racks on me going through the airport. So when I get back to LA, TSA, I grab my luggage, I'm walking out, you know what I'm saying, about to go hop in a taxi, you know what I'm saying. TSA pull up on me out of nowhere. Hey, what's going on? I'm like, what's up? They like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, all right, how y'all doing? But I'm walking towards the exit. They trying to block me. They like, you mind coming with us? Coming with y'all for what? They was like, we just want to search your luggage. Search my luggage for what? You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, we just want to search. I said, man, look, man, out of all these people in here, they like, oh, don't put a race car. Yeah, out of all these people in here, I start getting loud. Like, man, y'all want to search my luggage? Search my luggage for what? Like, I ain't did nothing. I don't got nothing on me. So then the supervisor, she come out of nowhere. She like, what's going on, sir? How you doing, man? Everything all right? She's like, you having a nice day? Yeah, how your day going? All right. She was like, look, you know you ain't got nothing. We know you ain't got nothing. I'm pretty sure it's been a long day for you. You mind if we just search your luggage? I'm like, hell no, because...
She playing good cop.
Yeah, so I'm like, because y'all racially discriminating. Like, search my luggage for what? I don't have nothing in this backpack. It's nothing in here. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do? So she looking, she was like, you know what? She like, sir, just have a nice day. And I walked up out of there.
Oh, wow.
From there, I'm like, man, I ain't playing with these people. And from there, I was just driving or getting on the Greyhound.
Now, what were you going to say, Munch? I think we had cut you off on accident.
I forgot.
Okay, so here's what I don't understand.
No, he was talking about pertaining to the sneak peek,
the sneak-
cash, how y'all was
Oh,
getting
yeah.
cash.
Well, my question about the sneak peek.
They don't let you know they seen it.
Okay, but you have to know something's going on because how do they know 75,000's in that bag? How do they know 202,000's in that bag? That's more than a sneak. They're counting the money.
No, when you going through the carousel,
No, you don't know when they gonna count that money. Shit, or just like this. That's like you getting off and they saying your luggage late or your luggage to make it out, your shit still coming.
Okay.
They counting your shit, you ain't thinking in your mind. As long as when you get your shit, don't nothing in your. Oh, I got my shit. All right, might have just been a hold up. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, what if it's in your carry-on though? I would think most of the people. I would never put money.
that wouldn't be a good idea for the carry-on.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1,500 or something.
Because the people that work for the planes be going through the luggage and stealing stuff all the time.
Hey, but see,
Right?
look, how many times have you been somewhere and then when you waiting on your luggage, the little belt thing stop and everybody's sitting there waiting? I believe they do something like that on purpose.
Sure.
Hold everybody up. So it's like you just ain't feel like you singled out. And then they start moving again. Then there go my legs to keep it pushing.
Definitely.
So it's ways, they crafty. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But that biopic got to come out. That's on you, eh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
On everything.
Oh yeah, when you
I gotta how it ain't just about me, it's because shit. By the way, I got introduced out. I was supposed to went out there before a lot of dudes, but you know what I'm saying, I was going back and forth in jail though.
But I'm saying,
by way of my bro though.
You telling it from your lens?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like
sure.
nigga, moving a biopic, LA to Spokane. I named it, so I need my little percentage on Big Head. Nigga, moving the biopic, nigga, LA to Spokane. Nigga, that'd be on Netflix fast.
Yeah, that's actually a good book to write, man. I don't know if you and a couple homies going to get together and.
No, I got it. All that's coming. You feel me? Just the whole book, everything, a whole life story, everything for sure.
All right, update on Cain Velasquez, the UFC fighter that was arrested for shooting a man that was suspected of molesting his son when he saw him coming out of court. He took a deal today or yesterday or this week. This happened in, I think, 2022 because me and FG were talking about it when we were doing Streets and Scholars. And they tried to charged him with attempted murder. He tried to shoot the guy that molested his son when he jumped into his car and drove off. He ended up shooting the stepfather who was in the car. It was I think a graze to his leg. He shot the guy in the leg and the arm, but he's fine. No one died, and he took a deal for 5 years. And I think it's crazy because this is a professional fighter that was on top of the world. I think he was near his retirement, but to give a man 5 years, I guess that might be a good deal. What do you guys think?
It's a good deal.
Man, terrific.
That's a good deal. I mean, he would have did more damage beating him up, being that he got a skill set of fighting, but his whole objective was something else, and he did what any protective good father would have did.
He had a lot of support from his fans. They would come up to court all the time, holding signs, "Free Cain Velasquez." He was protecting his son, but unfortunately, the law don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, free him ASAP. I hope that 66% kick in for him and be home sooner than later. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. If it's a 66%, that's like 2.5 years. No. I'm sorry. That's like a little over 3 years. He's already got like a year credit.
He's going to do that on his head.
Yeah, so he'll probably be out. I'm going to say he'll be out in 2026. 5 years for Cain Velasquez, the UFC fighter.
Hey, you know what that remind me of? The little dude in Chicago. That dude slapped his mama. She went out there and got her son. He came in there and smoked him. You remember that?
Nah.
Everybody was applauding the little dude. The little dude got out of jail and all that shit.
Oh, so he beat the case or they never charged
You
him?
remember that, Ant? Nah. Man, the dude put hands on his mama inside the food place, dropped her and shit. It was like woofing to her. She went out there, got her son. Her son, young dude, a kid, hopped out with his blicking. Barked them down like you're supposed to.
YN had that blicky wicky on.
What? Now my mama, you crazy as hell.
Man,
I'm a cold mama's boy too.
Went there and caught a wig quick over mama for sure.
I'm surprised you don't know about that one, Alex.
No, I missed that one, but I did see this one where it was a Philadelphia situation. The guy walks into a liquor store in Philadelphia and he's buying some stuff at the window. Another guy comes in after him and is about to rob the place and rob him. He pulls out his thing and he shoots and kills the robber, and then he leaves. And then the police put a big old bulletin out. We're looking for this guy. They want to charge him, but we see it in real time. he defended himself against a robbery.
If y'all don't leave me alone, go about y'all business.
And I wonder whatever happened, because that was about 2022, 2023. And, of course, we can't forget that movie, A Time to Kill with Samuel Jackson, where he killed the dude that, I guess, raped his little 9-year-old girl. And I believe he beat the case in that movie.
Man, I wish we did have a stand your ground law in California, but I can understand why we don't have one. Because we got a cold gang problem out here. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a gang of free kills, I guess. But if we had them little stand your ground laws they got down south, along the south,
Yeah.
like the baby be getting away with all kind of shit. He shot a nigga all in Target. He keep doing this shit and getting away. Like they got it.
That was legit self-defense.
See, because a nigga woof to you in Target, you could do your shit.
Yeah.
I commend it. I mean, especially I got my kids with me, my daughter or baby with me, and you don't even speak to me, bro.
That's a legit. But you can still get a legit self-defense here in the state of California.
It ain't likely. It's so rare that people think self-defense don't exist at all in California.
Yeah, because it really doesn't. But it's
rare.
It's being acquitted of murder based on a self-defense. Like the guy Aubrey Berry. We talk about him, the guy that killed the rapper Dollar at the Beverly Center back in, what year was that? Ooh, gosh.
I don't know, but we all know.
About 2008.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, he got acquitted. That was basically a self-defense. He never denied that he didn't shoot the rapper. His thing was, I felt in fear of my life. He even took the stand. He was like, I saw this guy in Georgia 2 weeks ago, and they packed me out in the club. And now I'm in LA, and I see the same guy, and they're trying to do something to me, and he pulled out his thing and shot him.
Yeah, I'm glad he got acquitted, but that wasn't no self-defense. That was a retaliation. Hey, but see, not to hold us up too long on this thing, right? Because I was in the county jail probably like 2009, and I used to sleep next to this dude from La Puente, you know what I'm saying? And he was walking down the street with his baby mama and his baby and the daughter, and his ops pulled up playing, flashed the gun, and he got off first, killed them, and they washed him up anyway.
Yeah, there's a few.
I felt bad for him. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, we can't forget the 1993 Snoop Dogg case. That was basically a self-defense when he got acquitted of killing Walter Marion was he from By Yourself?
Well, he, like I said, thank God he out, right? And he need to thank him forever and dead with Suge Knight. But oh boy, back was turned to him.
Correct.
So if he didn't have no money, he would have been washed up. Snoop Dogg would have still been in the penitentiary right now.
Yeah, he would.
If he'd have had that law team, like, but
that was 30 years ago. He might have just got out because that was 93. That was 30. That's 32 years ago.
Yeah, but we all know the law ain't right because just like I just want to hit on something real quick, just like pertaining to the subject and something that Munchie said, and then it all coincide with the with self-defense and, like, you know, the states that have them laws, you know what I'm saying, for you to stand your ground. Even out here, like in LA, like with the gangbanging problem, like we got this unspoken rule that kids and children are off limits. Mm-hmm. So if you a gangbanger and you slapping somebody mama and they son come knock you down, and whether they from the rival hood, you deserve that shit because you ain't got no business touching no kids or nobody mother. Definitely if this mother don't gangbang. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody mama don't gangbang. My mama, she don't gangbang. She ain't from the streets, but all her kids is in the streets though. But she ain't, she don't gangbang and she ain't a street person.
Mines don't neither. Mines don't neither. But I always felt, I felt this after I had a daughter, so that's a blessing because I don't, you know what I'm saying, kids is innocent. They didn't ask for their mama to be, or their daddy to be a blood or a crip, so they ain't got nothing to do with the decisions you made. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't really too much care about adults, bro, because, shit, my dad's 63, and you better do something to him. Like, and then everybody, granny houses, it's a gang hangout. Everybody, granny house is a gang hangout, and everybody hood, bro.
Yeah, I was posted up with your dad a couple of weeks ago at that way. I met his dad at a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
It was all the OGs up in here.
All the 8-9 families was deep.
Everything.
It was all deep. Yeah. All right. It's been 90 days since the brutal no-jumper beating, and Termaine Williams, a.k.a. the fake Luce Cannon, has been taken into custody, tied into this complaint with Big-U. But they didn't take everybody into custody that was connected to the no-jumper beating, and I'm almost certain I will bet any of you guys. I know you said last week, Munchie, you didn't believe that that they're investigating this by the Burbank PD, but Burbank is not going to just let a whole bunch of black folks come over there, beat people up, post a video on the internet, react to it, and not go to jail. That's just my position.
I will have to run that clip back and see what I said exactly right. But I know what I did say is, Wack is one of they boys. You got a baby with a well-known industry hooker, bro.
Oh, sure.
And you just straight with it, like you just sitting there like, I know you want to say shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, them boys are coming for you real soon, sweetie. I just want you to know that.
I'm starting to think they ain't though, man.
You don't think so?
Nah, but you know, he might still wait till the statute of limitations. He might, you know what I'm saying?
No, this is like a 3-year statute of
They're
limitations.
coming for you, sweetie.
I don't wish yell on nobody, especially if he ain't gonna go to LA County Jail and get an issue like where you go get some. You know what I'm saying? He go to jail like in San Bernardino and shit. He ain't gonna get no real issue. Like he got a big following in the IE.
Well, he's wanted in Riverside County and Los Angeles County, so I don't know which county jail he'll go to.
I want him to go somewhere he could bump into my homies. Well, actually, that sound bad. I don't wish yell on nobody, but. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit that county jail and go get spanked.
I do want to see him hit the LA County jail rather than the Riverside County jail.
Right.
I'd love to see that.
No, he got love in IE, bro. He be like 30 IE dudes deep.
Yeah.
Like, sheesh. He got a cult following. I ain't gonna cap.
But all those IE guys that he had up there, no jumper, they're getting picked up. Here's.
I don't think so.
Okay,
bro.
here's
There's too many people right there.
Okay, listen, Munchie. When was the last time you heard the police say?
Oh no.
When was the last time you heard the police arrest a whole bunch of people and say, after a 2-month investigation, we've arrested X, Y, and Z? You don't ever hear that. It ain't ever just a 2-month investigation.
Sometimes.
Nah. It's like, I just heard one the other day. After a 24-month investigation, what about Young Ant Jefe? After a 5-year investigation from 2008 to 2013, you know, this is not going to take 2 months.
I'm going to be honest. I think the people up top, when I say up top, I mean the feds, right? I think the feds is alerted Burbank, leave that alone, man. That's my people. And I'm talking about Whack 304, because, you know, they go protect his, they folks.
His asset.
So if they looking into that, and then Burbank and the higher ups, like the feds, like, no, kick back. You know what I'm saying? They want to, here's one of my boys, because Whack is one of theirs. You know what I'm saying? And I believe I said, if Whack backed up off of Luce Cannon, he gonna go to jail.
Yeah, I think you also said something about if they were going to do the arrest, they would have done it by now.
Yeah, because Burbank is bored.
Yeah.
It ain't like 7-7 division, and they desk is full of unsolved and cold cases, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, I mean, it still takes time to investigate. And I know with Ant's case, the Spokane case, I mean, they investigated that for, 2 or 3 or 4 years before they arrested everybody?
But look.
So they say.
So they say, yeah.
Look,
they don't investigate shit for a month or two.
Look, listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Burbank kicked back because the feds had their eyes on it, right? Because they know the amount that J20 to 288 penal code for rape. He's a rapist. J288.
You need the sodomy penal code.
Man, same difference. That's all in the same. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hey, but how they know the dollar amount of all the things that was taken off of them? It was watch, phone, wallet. It all rounded up to $5,000 or some dollar. So the feds must have hollered at Jay Reed or the boy that had his watch, Deputy Whack. Somebody gave up that amount. You know what I'm saying?
Well, both Jay Reed and the other guy, I believe his name is Marcellus, the one that was stripped down.
He's supposed to be a blood or something.
They both been interviewed by the police. I don't know if they're cooperating or not. It doesn't matter. They don't need to cooperate. They could still charge this case without them cooperating.
Being that they put it on candy camera?
Yeah, because they put it because they sent it to 600. 600 decided to post it, and then even Luce Cannon did a video stamping it on his channel.
Listen, I know y'all thinking about the footage that's going around, what happened at No Jumper. Y'all have to understand this, right? I don't run fake plays. I don't run the imaginary content that y'all be thinking that somebody's gonna just run and try to set somebody up and pay somebody to take a whooping. It don't work like that with me. I'm raw, I'm authentic. I'm real. I am sometimes too real. See, when y'all be clout chasing and acting like y'all really want a problem. I'm gonna give it to you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna give it to you. Sweetie! Sweetie! This is what happens when people clout chase. We were doing the Adam and Wack show. Adam is leaving the building. Adam FaceTime Wack. Hey, Wack, it's two people that's, wandering around the parking lot. You know who they are. And Wack was like, no, I don't know who they are. So I'm like, oh, I don't know, but let me go out and holler at them. So I walk out, right? I walk out with the dude, and he was like, man, I got a problem with Wack. I'm like, you got a problem with Wack about what? Yeah, I just got a problem with him. I'm like, you do? So I called Wack over there. Wack, come over here. Dude was like, man, you running this type of content and stuff like that. And Wack was like, what content? Wack pulled out his phone. Once Wack pulled out the phone, he was like, oh, this content? And then the dude was like, everything is not content. I said, you right. So, y'all see the results. Smack. Let's get to it, right? I told you, I was big useless enforcer. I kept him safe. I kept a lot of people safe. Dead homies, like, I don't seem like I'm the toughest. Y'all be saying like, he don't look like a killer, but what a killer look like? Because I stand on everything I say.
Ain't right. Come playing and slow shit. Crazy.
You don't think that the police is coming for everybody in that parking lot?
Nah.
Oh, you crazy.
Probably one other.
Oh, one other? Oh, yeah.
Probably one other. The one that was actually assisting in the ass whooping. But
I'm gonna do a Wack's reason for saying that Big-U was being investigated by the feds was to help him, right? To give him a heads up, to let him know it's coming. I'm gonna tell Gloss, the guy that stripped the other victim down. Gloss, get out of town. You gotta run. They coming for you, bro. I promise you. I don't have no insight. I don't know a Burbank police officer. I don't know any of these people, but I do know how these departments operate. Burbank, Torrance, Culver City, Beverly Hills. You do what you did, Gloss, in any of those 4 cities, they're coming for you. Now, if he would have did this in LA, maybe the LAPD would be like, we got too many other things to worry about.
yeah.
But you did it in Burbank.
Burbank board.
You did it in Burbank. So
all they got is parking tickets and shit going on.
hey, Gloss, do you have a passport? Go to Bali, Colombia, Afghanistan.
I doubt it.
China, Russia. You could probably avoid the 10 years you're going to get in prison. I don't even know. Is it worth running to avoid doing 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, people do.
Run as long as you can.
Actually, Kenzo from Campanella ran from his indictment.
18 months?
He did. He ran for 18 months. He ended up doing like 10 years. So I guess you'll run for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get on. I ain't turning myself in to do no time.
Yeah, that shit don't even feel right with all this unconstitutional shit going on out here.
But I understand people say I understand why Big-U turned herself in, bro, because you don't want them bothering your family. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You got a son in the NFL that's doing well, and they get the trying to. You know what I'm saying?
And that's definitely the feds gonna play them games. They're gonna turn up the heat for definitely.
Mm-hmm. So that's being a man. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that on the chin for your family.
All right, so you guys don't believe that there's any more arrests coming from the no jumper beating?
I mean, it might be lip gloss, but
lip gloss.
Dude, you said I don't think they're gonna get whacked though. But the dude, whatever name you said, that's the dude that was getting real ignorant, that was like strip and all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby, you gonna be stripping for that search, that cavity search for sure. Cause they got them, and that's on the federal desk, and that's a state case. Yeah, they definitely.
I mean, Luce Cannon might give him up though.
Yeah, and I don't know the names of anybody else in that parking lot other than Gloss. I don't know any of those other IBM Fontana dudes, but there were at least 2 other Fontana guys involved in that beating. I'm almost certain that Burbank PD has identified all you IBM guys, and you know what it's going to say? Look, we're going to talk about the Big U thing. This is not a rolling 60s complaint, even though they're trying to make it 60s, but when you read it, it's the Big U Enterprise. That's what's going to be. It's the Big
That's
U
the
Enterprise.
name they came with.
They came up with it. But check it out. For the Burbank thing, it's going to be the IBM Enterprise.
Yeah, but that's the name of it though. That's the name. It's gonna be whatever the little enterprise. But the feds always come with little clever names like Operation Draws Down.
Yeah.
Like the name of my indictment, a lot of people don't know. They think it was named. It was the homie name. They think it was named after the homie schoolboy or the art. It was the Arvin and Carmen indictment, but the name of the indictment was called Operation Piranha Slayer.
But your indictment was not a RICO, right? It wasn't the A-Tray Gangsters RICO
It's
case.
bigger than the RICO. RICO ain't shit. We had the CCE,
What's
Continuing
that?
Criminal Enterprise.
Okay. But I think if you get RICO, if it becomes racketeering, they could add more charges to it.
Ain't nothing worse. Look, we can look that up right
Continual
now.
criminal-
Ain't
that's
nothing
what
worse
Big
than the
Meech had.
CCE and the feds. Only 3% of people get found guilty for that charge.
You mean wait.
Not guilty.
Not guilty, you mean.
Only 3% of people get found guilty for that charge. So most people that they try to try on that beat that charge because you got to really come with all the elements to trump somebody for that charge.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The CCE, that's the coldest charge you can get. People hear RICO. RICO only carries 0 to 20 years.
Yeah.
I've seen people do 6 months off of RICO.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
So the guy in the Spokane indictment that's still in jail, did they give him 50?
Yeah, gave the homie 50
Okay, they gave him
with
50.
elbow. And They
Yeah.
found him guilty of the CCE.
Yeah, okay. So
Hey, people, Joseph Harrison, informant, cooperator, Fed favorite go-to guy. Watch out for him. Joseph Harrison, bro. When the homie had the little red Harvard shit, the homies, he was taking niggas down like he was tackling them.
oh yeah, that was the Inglewood
Yeah, he went in the homie house with audio and video. He was buying guns and going around the corner giving it to the police.
Hey, look.
Like a cupcake. I got him on my Instagram on the Dama Riders cover. He on that picture and I circled his face. You go see him on my Instagram.
Dark skin, big
Brown skinned dude.
He
brown-
tall?
Nah, he like shorter than me.
Oh, okay.
Shorter than me. Yeah, fuck that.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I'm right. I believe everybody in that parking lot probably gonna go to jail. At least 4 or 5 people, but we'll see. I do think that Whack 100 is gonna be somehow implicated in that beating. If he's not, I mean, he probably has enough wiggle room to get out of that case because he's not seen doing anything. But I know how these police write up these reports and put their narratives out there. And I know how they can make the guy standing on the side that didn't do anything, make him the one that did everything.
What I do know, what I learned over the years, people probably don't agree. The law really don't respect snitches. They don't respect them. They utilize them. They talk about them bad, like, and got nicknames for them and shit. They really respect the gangsters and shit. Like,
I agree with you. I think the police do not respect they need the snitches to make their cases, but at the end of the day, they don't really respect them.
No, they don't respect you because you participated in this and then you turned for leniency. They don't. That's traitor.
They don't even respect the cops that tell on the stuff that's going on within the department.
and then second, after they done with you, you chewed up, you expendable, right? So as of now, they're not gonna bother Whack. Whack is one of them. They're not gonna bother him until he's chewed up. They're gonna spit him out. You're expendable at this point, and then we'll put something on you. But right now, you a part of our team because he committed a lot of crimes on the internet more than Luce Cannon, and he ain't indicted on nothing.
Yeah, you might be right. It was you guys ever heard of Whitey Bulger out of Boston? He was a mafia.
Whitey tore him down.
He was the Irish mafia leader, and it turned out he was providing information to the feds on the Italian mafia because the Irish and the Italians were going at it. So he would always give the FBI information. In fact, the FBI agent on that case ended up going to prison, a guy named Robert Connolly, because they said Robert Connolly was giving Whitey Bulger information to say, hey, they looking at you here and they doing this here. So Robert Connolly ended up getting 20 years. He was the FBI agent. Whitey Bulger fled Boston and came to L.A., got an apartment in Santa Monica, and lived there on the run after they decided we have to arrest our snitch. Even though he's our snitch, he went rogue.
Right.
He was taking information that the FBI agent gave him, was killing other people. So he was able to live in Santa Monica, I don't know, for like 10 years on the run.
Yeah, man.
And then one day that his girl went to the nail salon or something, and someone identified her, and they figured out he was living in Santa Monica, and they found him, and
Somebody identified his girl at a salon in Santa Monica.
Something like that. Yeah. It has to do with his girlfriend at the that went out in public. They came to his apartment in Santa Monica, and they busted the wall down. There was $1 million in cash
Ultra snitch.
in the walls of his apartment in Santa Monica.
So these people, who the hell?
Now, Whitey Bulger was
his
literally working for the feds, and then they decided, you going to jail now.
Okay, another example. Stutterbox from Main Street. Soon as his information wasn't good for him and you messed up, man, you ain't getting lit in the right way. They sent his ass to jail. He was kicking it on the streets and giving up information and getting paid for it. And as soon as you tripped and you gave us misinformation, they lock your ass up.
Well, if you've been listening to Damu Kiwe Conversations, WAC is supposed to be the CS2 back in that federal indictment. And
I believe Stutterbox is CS1.
yeah, so I don't know.
I do.
Okay, in 2011, James Whitey Bulger, the notorious Boston mobster, was apprehended along with his girlfriend, Catherine Gregg, in Santa Monica after a 16-year fugitive status.
That's a good run.
Yeah, that is an incredible run. 16 years, and you want it not by the local cops, you want it by the feds. The FBI agents found Bulger and Gregg hiding out in a Santa Monica apartment complex. They were extradited to Boston and taken to court under heavy guard. Bulger had been on FBI's most wanted list for 16 years after being their snitch for many years.
Right.
Bulger and Gregg were found in an apartment on 3rd Street in Santa Monica. Gregg, a dental hygienist, was described as having multiple plastic surgeries, frequenting beauty salons, and loving dogs. Despite a $2 million reward for his capture, Bulger remained elusive, and there were reported sightings of him all over the world. Bulger was killed in federal prison in West Virginia in 2018 when he was serving a life sentence for multiple murders and racketeering. And check it out, 2 Italians went in his cell. He was transferred from one prison. He got to this prison like the day before. The day before he got to this prison, and 2 Italians, you see the camera, one goes in, and then he comes out, and they stabbed him for being a snitch. Yeah, so
Handle their business.
I guess the moral of the story is
Don't snitch.
don't snitch, but just because you think you working for them boys, it could turn on you, and them boys will take you into custody when they feel like you went rogue.
Expendable.
Because and a lot of things that people get misconstrued is that they think they can work one time and work their little deal off and get their ass out the way. You know what I'm saying? And be done with it. But like, no, you hop in bed with them people, they gonna use you until you're no more expendable.
You're compromised.
You're compromised for sure.
Oh, you're compromised.
Sammy the Bull did the same thing. He took advantage of his cooperation against John Gotti. They moved him to Arizona, and he decided, I'm going to start selling ecstasy pills.
Right.
I'm untouchable. I just helped the feds arrest the biggest mobster in American history, and he started selling pills from Phoenix to L.A., and eventually they gave him like a 17, 20-year sentence.
But see, that's how you know you can't trust the judicial system, because he had all them bodies, all the
He
murderers.
out though.
He out now. Yeah, he did his 20 years.
He had all the murders.
He did a dub off that.
He was sentenced to, I think he did 17.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened like 08. Then because I know like a few years ago he was like trying to have some little series. I think his daughter Karen Galvin, she had a little show, on the little Mob Wives, and I ended up seeing him. They had his ass in like in one of the little biopics in the backyard at the pool.
I seen him on YouTube telling the stories, and gave his reason why he rolled over on Gotti.
Yeah.
Most of those ecstasy pills in L.A. were coming from him.
Yeah.
And then what was crazy about it, he changed his name to something Moran. So he would be in the streets of Phoenix doing his thing, and he would tell other dudes in the streets, you know who I am, right? I'm not Moran. I'm Sammy the Bull. So he wasn't even using his fake name. He went to his real name to intimidate people on the streets. Like, the dude was crazy.
It's a lot of Sammy the Bulls in the streets, man. Niggas straight killers, but snitches. But they'll do it to you.
Okay, in 2001, Sammy the Bull Gravano pleads guilty on charges that he masterminded an ecstasy ring that sold drugs from from Arizona to New York. He pled guilty to 10 counts, including conspiracy to sell dangerous drugs, participate in criminal syndicate, and money laundering. He faces 23 years in prison when sentenced on next month. So I don't know exactly what he ended up doing, but he did a good chunk. He did a good chunk. So even though he escaped the life sentence with the feds, but he ended up doing almost 20 years on the spill case.
But what he did, he's supposed to held a way heftier punishment than what Gotti did. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when you that dude, they want you.
Well, he should have got a life sentence technically.
All them bodies he had, hell yeah.
Yeah, and this is where I don't understand how law enforcement can go to sleep at night feeling good about the snitch game when you let a guy walk for admitting to 17 homicides.
Right, that's what I said.
He admitted to 17 homicides and gets to go home.
Now you see the loophole?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
And now he's on YouTube doing videos.
A lot of them. And you talking about justice and what you can't hold under law in your own hand and shit like that. The shit they look. Man, I learned so much stuff on that federal level in that courtroom, man. And seeing how the feds can play and how much power they had, man. This shit was crazy, man. Like, and I'm just talking about you can't do nothing about it. Like, federal judge, he can sit there and, like, basically disrespect the law. You know what I'm saying?
Disregard it.
Disregard the law, and you can't do nothing. You can't file a civil suit, lawsuit, or nothing. The only thing that can touch him
because I heard what you said about y'all case about how many phones was tapped and how many was really tapped with a warrant and had to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the judge didn't care. Like, oh, well, let's keep it pushing.
And that was just one of the things, but it was just like, you know, it's a lot of unethical, you know what I'm saying, approaches and that was disregarded. And I mean, our lawyers just quoting the law like, man, the law was disrespected by this. You know what I'm saying, this amendment right. The judge didn't care. He was like, man, look, this is my courtroom. Like, y'all can tell who y'all want to tell. Y'all can tell the ACLU. Y'all can call the attorney general, whoever. I don't care. This is my courtroom. Once I seen that and he said that, and you know this lady's in court typing this shit on public record. Oh yeah, this God. This nigga came down from heaven.
Hold
this
on.
God on the stand.
Y'all seen during thug shit when the judge was on that lawyer like, who told you? Who told you? Like, he was tripping on him, but whatever conversation was had in the chamber that he wasn't supposed to be privy to, that shit was funny. They swapped that judge out though.
Oh, you talking about when they had the black judge on the Young Thug case?
He was tweaking.
Yeah.
He was tripping. He like, who told you? He was like, I don't care. You could do whatever you want. Take it up in the appeal court. I'm like, oh.
Look,
Man.
I understand law enforcement needs to use snitches to solve their cases, but there's no way on God's green earth that a snitch that admits to 17 murders that destroyed multiple families should be able to walk from 17 murders.
But they want who they
That
want.
shit is mind-boggling to me. Because you want John Gotti that bad.
Yeah, you know why? Because John Gotti was
Flamboyant.
and he was making a circus out of him. Teflon Don, you know what I'm saying? Kept beating him.
Yeah.
They don't care. That's one thing about it. The feds, they don't. One thing I just said this yesterday. To where I don't know where we got it in our mind that we think that the law got to play with an integrity when it comes to us. Man, they not playing with no integrity. They look at you as the scum of the earth. They not playing with no integrity. They not coming with no ethical, you know what I'm saying, proper approach. Man, they gonna get down and dirty, and they don't care who gots to go down. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got to be a different kind of human being to be a prosecutor and bend the rules to allow people like Sammy the Bull Gravano to go home. Hey, Jeffrey Dahmer killed less people than Sammy the Bull. And we hate Jeffrey Dahmer, but we love Sammy the Bull's on YouTube. How is Sammy the Bull on YouTube, y'all? I just don't, this is insane.
Easy.
Sammy the bullshit snitch. That's crazy.
All right, California prisoner killed his wife during a conjugal visit, man. Hey, these conjugal visits should be treated like precious when you in prison.
Hey, look, one thing for sure, when he get out that shoe, if they took them conjugal visits, somebody's gonna kill you.
That's crazy.
I That's just how I feel. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but they just had the conjugal visits taken away from the lifers. The only people who can get them was the people, you know what I'm saying, that had like a few years, didn't have a life sentence, and was married and going home. They just broke the mold for that. I think that had just happened for them about 2013, 14. The lifers just got them back, and now they definitely about to take them back.
The only people that are not allowed to have conjugal visits based on the year you're talking about, and are people on death row and people that have sex crimes. So everyone else is eligible.
Yeah, but I'm saying the lifers couldn't. Period. At first it was, but now it came back for them. But I'm thinking that this situation with him, they might take them things back.
I will never know, but I would love to know what sent them on one.
All right, let me read this article. 62-year-old grandmother was killed while having an overnight conjugal visit with her convicted murderer husband at a California prison. David Brinson, 54, was found guilty of killing 4 men in 1993 and was sentenced to life without parole. In November, Brinson had an unsupervised visit with Stephanie Dowells, Dowells, 62, at Mule Creek State Prison. Which is a
PC prison.
That's all PC yard. All the yards there are PC. Yeah,
I didn't like that. That was PC. I was impressed. And when I was in YA, we used to be looking over there at it like, man, that's the PC.
It's
prison.
one of the first PC prisons. One of the first. I'm not sure if Mule Creek has the Chuckawalla. I don't know if Chuckawalla was before Mule Creek, but yeah, all PC yard. Brinson claimed to prison officials she had passed out, but the Amador County coroner said this week that her death was a homicide, determined that she had been strangled. No one has been charged in the killing yet. Fox News reached out to Amador County Sheriff and the California Department of Corrections. How could they just let this happen? It just don't get it. Dowell's son, Armand Torres, said, "My mom was just left alone, and she called for help, I'm sure. There's nothing she can do. Given the history that this guy has, we kind of wanted to know, how is this even possible for them to be unsupervised?" So basically, the conjugal visits are supposed to be private. They only come check on you every few hours,
like
but
on some count time type shit.
Yeah, but you're supposed to have privacy in a conjugal visit. So the family wants to blame the prison for letting them be alone for so long unsupervised, but I don't think they have a case.
That's understandable, being that
because your mama is grown and she was married to this dude. And how long was she married to this dude before this killing even happened? Now I understand he emotional because that's his mama.
Yeah, he mourning. That's all. But he not making a good case for that.
Okay, it says here that Prison Operations Manual says prisoners on family visits must present themselves 4 times per every 24 hours, and unscheduled checks can be made at any time. But every effort shall be made to ensure privacy of the inmate and their visitors. Yeah. So it's kind of like we got to give them privacy, but we can check anytime we want. But most of the time they just like letting them do their thing.
Yeah. Cause they like, man, they ain't expecting that. You gotta expect the unexpected, but they ain't expecting that, man. Like, man, you got a life sentence, man. You got somebody that's coming in to drop that gushy on you, man. You gotta be a happy man. I don't care what you doing when you leave here. Long as you coming, I need you, man. It shouldn't even be no problem.
Hey, why I never hear about men marrying women and going on a family visit and getting them pregnant? Have you ever heard of that?
Hell no. I ain't heard of that.
Hey, they can't really do nothing to Mr. Brinson. He's already serving life without parole.
Right.
They're probably not even going to charge him. It's a waste of money.
So he's going to take his visits.
Because, like, this was a 62-year-old woman. Like, what did you get mad at? Like, what were you mad at? She's a woman that's coming up here to see you.
Everybody ain't player like you, bro. Hey, bro, he got a life. He disgruntled. And shit, he probably looked on Facebook on his little phone and see anything, man. But
she's still keeping it solid, still coming to see you and give you that thing. You tripping?
I agree with you. I wouldn't give a what you doing out there.
That's crazy.
Just don't forget about me, please.
You feel?
Oh, we good. Just every 90 days come for this little fanny visit.
Man.
Get them little booyahs.
Go about your business.
I don't care if you got a boyfriend out there. Tell them I said hi.
Well, I don't think they'll take the conjugal visits away, but I do think they're going to do heightened checkups on the lifers
For sure.
that are doing conjugal visits because lifers got nothing to lose.
His visits is indefinite, taken away. Like he ain't never gonna get another visit.
Well, you can only get visits from a wife, so he's got to find him a new wife,
He ain't
right?
It ain't gonna happen. That privilege is stripped.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I mean, you know that alarm go off a lot on that PC yard. It goes up over there also, but I don't know how they gonna handle him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, his conjugal visits will be up until he gets another wife. I do believe he can get another wife though, because there's a lot of women out here that like messing with inmates.
He's not getting another
crazy
conjugal.
people out here for sure.
Hey, they want to. You know that the serial killers be having a whole bunch of fan base from chicks.
Definitely. What's the name? Just thinking of the Manson dude. They said he had his own mailbag. You know what I'm saying? Had all type of people. Had a whole fan club writing him and sending him money and sending him marriage proposals and all type of stuff.
I'd be getting married and divorced every other year if I was him. But I heard the same thing you heard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know people was on the yard with him, like at Corcoran. Like, man had his own mailbag. Man had a whole fan club, all type of bras trying to marry him. They get his book stacked just from bras and people sending him money. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like people definitely watching them documentaries and just into that type of stuff for sure.
And what do you think about them allowing lifers to have conjugal visits when they weren't allowed to have them before?
I think that was good that they allowed him to have it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them lifers they reformed in there. They taking classes and anger management classes trying to make it back. So they you know what I'm saying? Hell no. I love that they gave lifers the conjugals, but people like that can't mess it up for everybody, man.
Yeah.
Like you could at least beat her ass and not strangle her.
No, for sure. No, yeah, that was a good look, man. Like I said, I can get real political about how I feel about, you know what I'm saying, social injustice, about how the judicial system run they shift and do everything. Because like, who are you just to say that I can't have no pussy? Like,
Well, what about, they say that he was convicted of killing 4 people.
Still,
That's almost, he's lucky he's not on death row.
that's what they said. He convicted of that. Well, we gonna believe him or the jury. No, you know what I'm saying? So no, give him his visits.
shit, people get killed every day on a higher level we don't understand, political level, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, but I just think, they just hold too much authority over people's lives and stuff like that. But it should be, like I said, the only person I think that shouldn't get no conjugal visits, you got to be like a rapist, a child molester or something for me to go against you. Like murder, you know what I'm saying? They murder. Like the same people that prosecute you and judge you for murder, shit, they have murder in the blink of an eye and all type of stuff. Just, so, that's the only people I think that shouldn't get it. It's like if you're a rapist and like child molester type person.
If you a judge and you sentence somebody to death, you murder somebody.
Yeah.
That's murder. You got somebody's life in the palm of your hands and you sentence him to death.
Well, it's different. That's killing. I
Man,
think there's a difference between murder and killing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. If
either way, you're not waking up.
okay, let me ask you this: if you're in the army and they send you to war, and you're going to war against a country and you're shooting and killing the opposition, are you a murderer or are you a killer?
Both.
you both of them in that situation.
Tell me the difference.
Because murder is a legal definition that is defined by a forethought, planning.
Oh, okay, so a murderer got a license to kill. So the people in the army is murderers.
Hey, I've heard people.
Gangbangers is killers. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm trying to say that murder is the worst way to describe the killing of one human being to another human being. Now, if I'm forced to go to war and I got to kill to protect myself, I don't consider myself a murderer. But if I got mad at a dude and I know where he lives because he owes me some money and I go over there and I clap his ass, then I'm a murderer.
Okay, is that really a thing, or that's something you came up with?
No, that's the thing. Like even in the law, let's say I'm cutting tree branches. I'm cutting tree branches, but I'm doing it negligently, and branches fall on the ground and kill somebody. I can get charged with a murder. I could fight it and say it was an accident. Give me the manslaughter. You know, there's even legal definitions for different ways to kill people.
No. I know vehicular manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, all that. But I'm saying the word kill and murder is synonyms.
Okay, no, they're not. They're different. I'll give you another example. I'm at a bar, and I'm having a drink. A guy comes in, sits next to me, and he starts bothering me. He starts harassing me. He pushes me. I take that bottle, and I hit him over the head, and I kill him.
It's kind of almost that you saying that one is an accident and one is on purpose.
Well, let's say with the bar example, I deliberately grabbed that bottle, I hit him over the head with it, and I killed him after he came in there and started bothering me and harassing me. I'm going to jail for that, but I might be able to get a manslaughter. Manslaughter is not murder.
So what is that? Is that a killing? What you describing?
Yeah, that'd be a killing, and I believe I can get away with a manslaughter on that one because this guy just came into my life randomly, came into my space, started harassing me.
Especially like self-defense.
You black. You ain't gonna
I'm
get that.
protecting myself. Like
You
protecting
black.
your sovereignty.
Yeah. Or what about the famous one where a guy walks into his house and finds a guy fucking his wife and he kills the guy right on the spot? He's gonna get a manslaughter.
Yeah, I should watch that movie Adulterers. That shit.
Manslaughter is
Netflix.
not considered murder. So but
you kind of confusing the viewers when you get
okay.
to
Murder is.
I'm just
first,
trying to
okay.
differentiate
Murder-
differentiate whatever I'm trying to say. Murder and killing. You
Murder
saying-
is first degree and second degree.
so one is premeditated, one not.
No, first degree and second degree are both murder.
No, but you're saying between. I'm just
But
saying.
manslaughter,
Just-
voluntary manslaughter and involuntary manslaughter is not murder, and neither is
No,
self-defense.
I know, but I just wanted to stick on the word murder.
Yeah.
Kill. So one is deliberate and one is not.
Well, no, you can deliberately defend yourself and kill someone. That's not murder.
No, but if you're defending yourself, you're not trying to off them, but it happens. So I'm saying you're trying to say
No,
one is-
if someone breaks into your house and you see that they got a bat in their hand, you can shoot and kill them on purpose, and that's self-defense.
and you would call that a what? A killing.
That's a killing.
All right, I
That's
follow
not a
you.
murder.
Yeah, you gonna get charged with it though. That's what it's called.
I don't know. I guess I'm confusing y'all.
No, you ain't
I
confusing
I
me.
get what you're saying now.
I get you, but-
so let me give my perspective. So
Yeah.
basically just like what you saying. So basically I come up in the house, I see, you know what I'm saying, my wife having an affair, you boom. I knocked the dude down, you know what I'm saying? I killed him.
Yeah.
But let's just say, you know what I'm saying, a few days later, you know what I'm saying, after that happened, I strangled my wife. I murdered her.
That's a tough one because if you got a good lawyer, they can say you still haven't. You went through trauma of witnessing her cheating, and you still didn't get over it just yet. If you got a good lawyer, he can argue you down to a manslaughter. But that the prosecutor is gonna charge you with a murder for the wife.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I'm going to the opposition, and I'm from Randallville, and I'm going to the geek streets, and I hop out. Where you from? Geek Street, and smoke them. That's murder.
Oh yeah, that's murder all the way.
And then the first one he said is killing.
Yeah.
But I don't think nobody in the world look at it like that, bro.
Yeah.
Those words is synonyms as far as the world knows.
Yeah, I just I don't play with that word, like putting the murder label on every killing. Some killings are justified. Have you ever heard of justifiable homicide? Mm-hmm. That's not murder.
You know, it's flashing in my head. I don't know where it comes from. I'm just hearing like that white verse when they be like, murderer. Yeah.
Now, we want to say when the police shoot and kill one of the people that we know, we want to call that murder. They never call it murder unless it's like the George Floyd thing. That dude went down for a murder.
Sure.
But for example,
what about that other one? I remember. What about around the same time the George Floyd situation happened with that female cop that went in there, ran in the house and killed that black dude? Then kind of find out she was giving head to one of the police or the captain or something. She was having an affair with one of the police. Man,
Well, which one is that one?
she walked into the wrong apartment though, right? When she killed the African dude.
and wrong.
Oh, was that in
apartment
Inglewood?
my eyes,
No, this
man.
was another state.
Wrong apartment of my eyes. No, they was showing. That's what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
But they was showing that like, no, this wasn't the wrong apartment. You knew where you was. You feel me? Like I forgot the brother was up there speaking. Like, man, look, this and this happened before the shooting even happened. She knew what she was doing, and then they even like went in their phone, and I guess she was talking to one of the other cops or something that she was having an affair with. You know what I'm saying? Or everything.
Yeah, I don't know how we ended up on this murder versus killing conversation, but how did we get into that topic?
Because I forgot, but I think it's the same thing though.
Well,
But you
We was just talking about like the little jail stuff in the male fan club because I was talking about how Manson had.
yeah.
fan base and all that. But all that came by way of the strangulation from the lady who just got killed on a conjugal visit.
Yeah, if he did strangle her, that's 100% a murder right there. But let's say she fell down. We don't even know what happened to her.
Yeah.
We don't even. He's denying that he killed her, but the coroner says she was strangled. So if they got all this evidence of, all this pressure on her neck and all of this damage up there, then it's probably a murder.
You gotta just be a corrupted, weird dipwhip. You in there, man. You ain't supposed to be in there for the gushy. Like, what made you in there snap out?
I mean,
if you allegedly did do this, 'cause like we said, man said he ain't do this, and I definitely believe, man. Like, I know what we up against, man. Our people up against. So, you know what I'm saying? You innocent to proven guilty, you still innocent after that because what they say don't go, but you under their rule. But if that did happen, like, bro, what made you trip out and unalive the lady in the thing? She coming to put the thing on you.
Well, the only way we'll probably get any sort of motive is maybe the family of the lady. Maybe they got a little insight. Maybe he was mad about something. Maybe a package didn't come on time. Who knows? We'll hopefully we'll find out. But we're gonna tap back in on this story because I don't think we heard the last of it. But it's really nothing that they can do to this guy. He's already
like they want a wrongful death suit type thing, but it ain't gonna happen.
Hey, I support them trying to sue the jail and see if there's a little loophole. Maybe they're supposed to do their rounds. If you got to show yourself 4 times within a 24-hour period, and the COs got lazy and said, "Oh, they're over there doing their thing anyways. We ain't gonna interrupt them." Shoot, maybe that is a civil case, right?
It is false advertising. And the safety protocols and all type of stuff.
If autopsy show how long she been unalived, and then it's supposed to be in a check within that time span, them 48 hours and stuff, then they got some.
Yeah. Hey, in '96 in YA, this probably happened before you went to YA. There was a female staff that was killed by one of the youngsters in YA. And then he dumped her body in the trash. The trash got taken out and taken to the landfill, and they didn't know where this lady was. They finally figured it out. But you never heard about this case?
I heard about it. Where was he from, though?
He was a white boy that was scared to go to prison. I think it was a white boy. I forget his name. He didn't want to go to prison. He was like, nah, he didn't want to go to prison. So he killed one of the staff secretly. No one knew. And it was a black woman. It was a black woman he killed.
I heard that story.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
I think he like one of them high-ranking Nazi lowriders or Aryan Brotherhood dudes.
Well, yeah, they eventually sent his ass to prison, all right.
Yeah. I heard that story.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about that, Ant, where a lady got killed. Let me see.
In YA, you talking about you don't want to go to prison, so you killed her secretly. How you thought you want to go to prison doing that?
Because he wanted the keys. The motive for killing her was to get the keys to escape, because he didn't want to go to prison. So he was trying to escape YA.
Did he get the keys?
I don't know. His name was James Ferris. San Bernardino Superior Court convicted inmate James Ferris on Tuesday for the 1996 murder of counselor Anise Baker at California Youth Authority in Chino.
So why TS? This had to happen in TS.
Yeah. Ferris, 29, faces the possible death sentence for stabbing and strangling Baker, a crime that some experts say led to more severe and authoritarian regime in the YA system. So if you went to YA after 96 when this happened, you got there when people was mad.
So he trying to get the keys.
Yeah, he thought he was going to escape.
All right, man. Hey, shout out my boy G Spooks from Trey. I remember he escaped from Camp Miller, and my boy Tiny Joker from Raymond. He escaped from. He was going back on trans for an ad charge. He escaped from Camp Miller also on a separate occasion. And my boy Tiny Joker from Raymond, along with some others, escaped from the compound. Yep. So if you know what the compound like inside Silmore.
Him, the homie I-Rock from the set. And
I-Rock and Lancaster, my little homie.
Yeah, so on that escape from Silmore, that was G-Red from 20 Bloods.
Right.
I-Rock from A-Trey Gangsters and Tiny Joker from Raymond.
Tiny Joker, my boy. But the compound
Nick
is a jail inside the jail. So the dudes is fighting their fitness about to go to YA or wherever they going. It's a gate, and then, you know what I'm saying? man, the staff had to help them with that. But I was happy when I heard that shit. I was rooting them fools on.
Were there any YA escapes when you were in there?
Not that I remember. Nah, hell no. I wasn't even trying to escape. I was having it my way. So I wasn't thinking about no escaping. No, I don't remember nobody escaping when I was in YA. No.
It's a little too difficult, right?
I mean, you could have got it.
Probably ain't no
I
attempts.
was juiced up. Oh shit! I don't think it was that hard. Like I used to be out. I used to be out in public, and I went to fire camp. I could have left fire camp. I definitely could have left that motherfucker, been gone. But shit, I wasn't on that. Like I don't even lie. I was having it my way. Everything you can have, but it was freedom. I just wasn't at home in the H-Ray gangsters or in LA. Shit. Even at Miller, even at Camp Miller, where he said, ain't nobody. I don't think nobody had more pull in Camp Miller in history than me. Anybody that was in that camp when I was there, I tell you, I was like a staff at that camp. Like not in the aspect of on inmates, but like I had their supervisor mad at me. That staff was going against their supervisor, Miss Yarbrough, when she first came there for me. They like, man, look, baby Tookie Shelman been here longer than you. Like,
Baby Tookie.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm talking about I used to go jogging every day off the compound. I'm saying with my caseload Romo. I used to go to Zuma Beach in Malibu. I went to Pepperdine College like 4 different times. You know what I'm saying? I went to like 6 different Laker games.
Yeah, Pepperdine.
I was juiced up at that camp.
Pepperdine still used to come up to Camp Gonzalez and shit.
Yeah, I was juiced up at that camp. You know what I'm saying? On everything.
Hey, you never thought of taking the name Baby Tookie for real, for real?
Nah.
That's a cold name.
They should call
Baby
me that.
Tookie.
What's the name though? They used to on everything. Nah, they used to, all the police though. They used to call the motherfucker that in the halls. But nah, I ain't never try to run with that name. A lot of people be trying to do that shit, that dap other people's names and shit. You know.
Because Tookie is definitely tied into your neighborhood.
No, yeah, for sure. But shit, I don't even know Lil Tookie from like PJ's his son.
Lil Tookie is his son, yeah.
I'm talking about Baby Tookie from A-Train. And Lil Tookie from PJ Watts.
All right. Hey, 10 guys were arrested in a federal investigation to smuggle drugs into the Riverside County Jail, and you won't believe how they were doing it. This is crazy. Multiple people were arrested after being named in a federal indictment alleging conspiracy in a ring that involved smuggling controlled substance, including fentanyl, into the Riverside County Jail. 10 people named in the indictment, which alleged defendants engaged in smuggling substances into the correctional system over months-long span from 2022. The specific charges are conspiracy to possess and intent to distribute methamphetamine and methamphetamine for distribution. The alleged ringleader, 46-year-old Andrew Ayala, affiliated with a street gang, was ordering people to bring drugs into the county jail. And the smuggling of drugs, okay, that's them talking. But the main way they got the drugs into the prison is they would put them in the little balloons while they're on the streets. These are people on the streets swallowing the drugs and then figuring out ways to get arrested by the police so they can end up going into the Riverside County Jail. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, once they're in there, I guess they go to the bathroom,
shit it out,
get it all out, and boom, they start slanging.
That's better than out-of-town money.
Oh, yeah. In this article, it says that they would sell the drugs for triple the value than they would on the streets.
All right. It ain't unheard of.
Why?
How they get caught, though?
Let me pull up this other article because one of the things, I guess they got wind that some of these people were bringing drugs into the jail and they were using x-ray machines, which I'm not tapped in with, but do you guys ever go through an x-ray machine when you get arrested?
Yeah, so I know the feds, they got the x-ray machines, but so the x-ray machines are definitely supposed to x-ray your body and see what's in there, but the x-rays don't supposed to really see the drugs. It's really supposed to just be like certain objects, like depending on what you got up in you, metal, like if you're trying to hide a knife, got stuff keistered. And I have heard times that people have got caught with drugs on them, and I've heard a gang of times that people pass with drugs on them. So that's why I think it was like more than that than that machine. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you swallow the balloon, like whatever, just
it should look like the rest of your.
Exactly, you feel me? Or unless you just got something in there that's metal or something that's in there that's showing in the X-ray like that coincides with the X-ray. Like, oh, that's some different type of material or something. Because it's just crazy. I've been on the X-ray machine a million times. The only thing it show, so the feds, they got like 2 of them. They got one you go through, it's like a little machine like this, and you go through diagonal side to side, and they got one that come up and down. So it goes from your head to your toe. And the only thing they be seeing is the bullets I got in me.
Actually, it says here that they were in this DOJ Department of Justice press release. It says that they were going out of their way to avoid the X-ray machines to detect it. It says leaders of the scheme arranged temporary housing for the drug mules before and after they went into custody and delivered the narcotics, which details steps taken by the smugglers to avoid the drugs being detected by the X-ray scanners.
They probably go right in there and go man down.
No, you know what I think they do? I think they probably eat a meal right before they figure out what they're going to do to get arrested, swallow the dope, then eat a nice meal, and probably makes it difficult to detect through the X-ray machine.
No. They doing something like going man down, faking a seizure or something. Then they come to scrape them up and go to medical and go around that.
I ain't not to cut you off, Munchie. I just want to say something real quick. I don't like saying too much and exposing game.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've been on every X-ray machine, so I think it's just somebody
Snitching.
put them on them people, or
Right.
they kept doing it too much to where it probably alerted the people. Like, why these same dudes just keep coming in here and they got their snitches in every jail and probably tapped in with somebody like, man, they selling drugs.
Okay, I want to read this next paragraph.
I you interrupted me. That's good shit though. I on everything.
Okay, this goes to what you just said, and in one incident in late 2022, a defendant attempted to smuggle 1 3/4 ounces of meth concealed inside his body, but that shipment was intercepted when the contraband was seen on an X-ray machine when the defendant was brought into custody. Now, what you're saying, they probably got information that he had swallowed something, and this might just be a way to excuse away their CI.
Yeah, or so let me say this. All right, so boom. Let me get some good game. Bam. So probably how if they are saying they detected something, which I don't think they did, they trying to make shift that these machines work. He probably didn't have it in a balloon, or if he did have it in a balloon, he probably had like some tape around it to where the tape would be seen on the X-ray. Certain stuff ain't gonna be seen. Like a balloon is rubber, but like if you do like some tape or something else, it's something else that might catch the X-ray thing. Like, oh well, what is this right here? And make them act like, man, what is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I've been on every one from, like I told you, the one that go this way, X-ray machine, the one that go up and down your body, and the one you sit on. You sit on it, Bob, just like it's like a chair. Your arms just like this. You sit on it, and the X-ray you. Dum, dum. All right, then they tell you to get up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like I transported books of stamps, and they ain't see that. Like, cause that's common. That's in the feds. That's currency on a yard stamp. So it have been times I'm like, damn, I know I ain't gonna get my property. I'm about to go to the yard. I don't want to ask nobody for nothing, so I'm about to take these stamps with me. And I had a gang of stamps on me, like 30, 40 books on that X-ray machine, and they didn't see that. You know what I'm saying?
The most logical thing to me, I think they was expecting this person
For sure.
to come in custody with the shits, and you know what I'm saying. I think that the inmates be, you know what I'm saying? They be working.
Exactly. You keep coming to jail. They keep seeing you every week. You know what I'm saying? They got big, come on, trust these people in there telling, man, the boy, he sure be coming here every week. Yeah, man, yeah, sure, he be up there. And then they listening. You on there on that phone, and then people got to send the money somewhere. They following all that.
But
You know what I'm saying?
these scanners are pretty good, because when I go through the airport and I forget to take a nickel that was in my pocket, they're like, hey, what's in your front pocket?
Again,
I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't even know I had that in there. You know?
it's metal.
Yeah.
So like what I say, what they always see when they X-ray me, my bullets, that's in me, because it's there to detect metal. Like if you trying to keister a knife, a cell phone, that's what it's really for. They spook people when they tell you, oh, it's a drug detector, and some people tell them themselves. Like I said, I know plenty of people who have beat that machine in the feds, all of them. That and every time, oh yeah, we got to get on the machine. You ain't even worried about the machine. Now, if you got that knife or you got that cell phone, then you know you in trouble. But if you got like some plant-based stuff or some paper stuff, like, man, that ain't about to detect that.
But these people are going to the county jail, so this is not a federal.
You don't think the Fed stuff is more high tech than the county?
It is.
jail?
No, that's what I'm asking. Does the county system have the same type of scanners?
Hell no.
Nah.
No.
It ain't that sophisticated.
I mean, I ain't been in the
Feds.
county jail since 2011, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Oh, the last time we was there together.
Yeah, that's the last time I've been. Right after that, I went to the feds like 2 years later. Like, I stayed out like 2 years, and I went to the feds. Yeah,
and this
so
is
I ain't been in the
Riverside,
county
so.
since.
My whole forehead is metal, so they'll see that shit.
For sure.
All right. Well, I like the last sentence of this press release. It says that this indictment is merely an allegation, and all the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So,
Yeah, more like guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, because why I can't fight this shit from the streets?
You hear me? I'm in jail on a complaint. This ain't. Yeah, look, the complaint ain't even been heard by the jurors yet to turn it into an indictment, and I'm sitting in jail.
Innocent to proven guilty. Well, let me fight it from the house.
all right. Well, let's talk about this. What everybody's talking about this past week. I was actually in New York when the news hit that the Big-U Enterprise got indicted. I was at my mom's house, and my mom was like, "What you on the computer for?" And I'm visiting my mom. I ain't seen my mom in like 6 months, and I was just on my laptop, just going through all the reading. I said, "Mom, they just hit LA. Just got hit with an indictment."
Moms know who Big U is?
Nah, she
Mom,
don't
they
know.
just hit Big U.
Nah,
What?
my mom knows who Diddy is though. My mom thinks that
Brother Love.
hey, my mom thinks Diddy did something to Jamie Foxx, and I said, why do you think that? She said, I saw a TikTok video.
Hey, all right, Mom.
Based on a TikTok video, my mom thinks that
Hey,
Diddy
something
did
else
something.
pertaining to that real quick before we get off into this. Man, I heard that see, I already knew that they had Jay messed up. So I heard that that's that same lawyer that had Diddy on the hook and then went after Jay. I heard like after the little stuff, you know what I'm saying, unraveled pertaining to Jay-Z, they said that he said he off the Diddy case. He don't want to do the case no more.
Yeah, one of his lawyers checked out. Didn't want to do
One
it
of
anymore.
Diddy lawyers?
One of Diddy's lawyers.
Oh, they said they tried to make it like the prosecutor dude, the dude that went after Puffy, the dude who went after Jay-Z. They tried to make it seem like he said he don't want to do the case.
Nah, a dude that was on the team of lawyers, a Puffy, he had resigned from the case.
Oh, okay.
Over a disagreement with another lawyer. But
Oh, okay.
he wouldn't. He never said what the specific reason was.
Okay.
I think they said the disagreement was about strategy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How they go take on the case.
Well, I know that Big U is going to need some hell of a strategy to fight all of these allegations. And after reading this indictment, I do see some weaknesses in this indictment. There's some holes that could be poked, but it's going to require a very pricey lawyer to combat some of these things. But the first thing I wanted to talk about regarding this enterprise, Termaine Williams, we will not be hearing him saying "sweetie" in a long time, I believe.
You might though over the phone. He's such a clout,
over the
clout
phone.
chaser. He's still calling
What
in.
should I say? She about to if she ain't already, she's about to upload one of those videos from Pahrump. You know what I'm saying? They all day. I was in, man. You got the tablet. You can go to the screen on the wall, or you can grab one of the tablets. They got like 15 to 20 tablets to distribute between the dorm, between what groups or whatever group you ride with. Man, he gon'
And tell the viewers
be showing it.
what is Pahrump? Tell the viewers like
Pahrump, that's a private jail. That's a private federal facility. So, Las Vegas don't have a federal facility. So basically, Pahrump is a private jail that has a contract with the FBI to send you there. So, like, if you get locked up in Vegas, you're going to go to their county jail first or one of them little Henderson spots. You're going to be there for like 2 or 3 days. And then the U.S. Marshals going to come get you on that van, and they're going to transport you to Pahrump. You're going to stay there. Pahrump is also like it's like a hub for transporting, too. So, if you're not just fighting the case from being arrested in Vegas, you can go there to be transported, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like a hub for where they do transporting to other jails and stuff too. So probably within like the next 3 weeks, the feds gonna come snatching, either bring him to MDC, LA, Santa Ana, you know what I'm saying, county, or San Bernardino or something like that.
Hey, so they don't have like New York has MDC in Brooklyn, LA has MDC downtown. If you go to the feds in Nevada, they don't have sort of an MDC version there?
No, that's Pahrump.
they just passing through.
Or you're going to be in one of them county jails. Depending on what side of Pahrump you fall in, you're going to be in a county jail. So you will hope to fall on the side that Pahrump is on, because if you go in there, it's going to be like Disneyland. Everything is only really like 2 lockup units. You got to be like high max to go there. But even they got the PlayStations there. But you're going to be in that dorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? The commissary good. They got all the candy you want, all the sodas you want, the food cheap. They got microwaves in there. They got hot pots in there. They got about 10 TVs on the wall. They got like about like six PlayStation 5 devices distributed between all the races. So, you know, and you get, like I said, you got the iPads in there. You can download, stream all the music, and visit. You know what I'm saying?
That is not jail.
And he'll be there for at least no more than a month, right?
No more than a month. It's gonna take them roughly. I stayed there 28 days before they came and got me. So anywhere probably from like 28 a week to 28 days, depending on. You know, they don't care. As long as they know they got you in custody, they gonna come get you when they want to get you. Like I say, I stayed there 28 days before they came and got me and took me to LA.
Now, does the MDC here in downtown LA have the same sort of politics like the LA County Jail does?
No, it got the same like kind of politics as the Fed, because you always gonna have somebody who's been in the Fed on these units. All these units ain't gonna be consist of people who's just coming to the feds. You're gonna run into somebody in there on a violation and stuff like that. So it's pretty much it's like it's just like some black stuff. You know, people on their little black tip. You feel me? So it's definitely different from the county jail. It ain't gonna be fight central like you go in there. Oh yeah, gangster neighborhood, or you know what I'm saying, neighborhood blood and stuff like that. Ain't gonna be none of that. It's gonna be like more camaraderie on some black time and understanding. You know what I'm saying?
So Termaine is lucky that this Fed case picked up before his state case picked up, because if he would have went to the county jail, he would have had to deal with a lot of confrontation.
Oh yeah, for sure. You about to get ran for banging 60s, and then the 60s in the neighborhood's probably gonna be on you, because you know people be trying to say that he ain't from over there. So yeah, he definitely, and he act like he about that act. That's what I really, because I would have loved to hear about Luce Cannon in LA County Jail, because how he be action orientated on the street.
Yeah.
Oh that county jail. Let's see what you gonna do going there, because you know you got some young little savages and hyenas in there that's trying to get some cool points. So. You feel me? I definitely love to see him up in there. You know what I'm saying? See what's going to happen.
And I think we spoke about this, Munchie. Like, we were just waiting for him to go to the LA County Jail.
My whole thing was he had a warrant out of Riverside. And I was like, you got to come to LA, you know what I'm saying? Where like, it's live like 2K. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? When you from like them gangs, like A-Trade 60s, Inglewood families, like, you going to have mandatory phase, because you got enemies that come to jail and they hoods is deep. So you ain't from a get-along gang. You gonna get some action, Termaine. You feel me? So, I don't know, man. But I ain't gonna try to discount San Bernardino County or nothing. But I don't think he would have got as much action right there.
He's not going to get the action in MDC like he would have got in the LA County Jail.
No, what he got to do is just make these dudes keepaways that like Big-U and them co-defendants that he know he disrespected on the streets.
I ain't gonna even. I wonder how they gonna do it. They might not even put him in MDC. They might do that for Big-U. Give Big-U the liberty of having that comfortability in MDC. They probably gonna put Luce Cannon in one of them county jails.
Now let me ask you this: when 3 or 4 or 5 people are named in the same complaint, do they all send you to the MDC and you're in the same dorm?
Yeah, you can end up like me and my co-defendants. Like some like we was so deep. Like like we was on the same floor. Like they was splitting us up, but we was all on the same floors. Like different party. Like so you be 2, 3 here, 4 here, stuff like that. But they got MDC. What you got the 5th floor, you got the 6th floor.
So you guys
7.
can talk about your case and
and
consult with each other on strategy and things of that sort.
Law library, all that. Then, like I said, you got the little jailhouse lawyers and stuff like that. Then you got the computer right there. So you got the computers right there in the day room. The computers is there for you to
casework,
to download your music on, to download your movies for your tablet, and as well as to pull up the law library. So you can go to the law library, you do all that on the computer. You know what I'm saying?
So it's quite possible that when Termaine Williams gets sent from Pahrump, Nevada, to MDC downtown LA, he's gonna be in the same dorm with Big-U.
Hopefully, could, but they might not put. If the feds want to be messy on some bullshit, they'll put them together. But we gotta see when the indictment come out if the prosecutor. So what they did on us, and none of my co-defendants weren't even telling it in the beginning. they automatically, to create confusion and chaos, they put keep separates on certain people. But we were so deep, so they couldn't try to play us.
Yeah, it's like
that.
50 guys,
So it was
right?
like,
So that's to put a thought in your mind. Like maybe he cooperating. Why
exactly.
they separate?
Like
Right.
what? You just looking and seeing the name like keep separate. Like what is a keep separate? So I don't think they're gonna put them two together for sure. For sure, they ain't gonna do that because I think they're gonna try to play the game to try to flip Luce Cannon against him. So why put him with Big-U? We know if we put him with Big-U, they're gonna feel like Big-U got the momentum and the leverage to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna keep him away from Big-U.
So you think they thinking more so he go play along with him and just stall him out so he don't do the wrong thing versus him whooping his ass and he really flip?
Yeah, they ain't gonna put him with Big-U. He ain't going around Big-U.
Man, I just want him to get
see
his
that.
ass whooped, bro.
I don't see that. Then you gotta understand, they see what's going on in the social media. They've been watching him social media, calling them big useless, big uterus, and all that. They've been hearing all the disses and stuff, so they definitely ain't gonna put them together unless they was just like trying to have something happen to him. But I think they gonna try to use him as leverage though, like try to get at him like, hey, look, bro, we got this on you. You uploading all these videos, whooping people, but we really on him. So what? You got any other information, any other robberies or other stuff you can give us? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're going to put them together. They definitely going to be away from each other.
He gonna tell on 3 and go free.
That's that bar from your song, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Termaine Williams, a.k.a. the fake Luce Cannon, is only looking at one charge in this complaint, which is U.S. Code Section 1951, interference with commerce by robbery, also known as the Hobbs Act. And the Hobbs Act carries anywhere from 5 to 20 years, and that's for the robbery of the marijuana dispensary. It doesn't really seem as a very serious charge that he's facing in this complaint. He's got a minimal.
Was it a legal dispensary or illegal?
Illegal.
I'm not even sure.
Illegal.
How can you even charge him with a robbery? I've seen dudes who have robbed them and like it was a DA reject got out on.
Well, the victim of the dispensaries has already provided the information on the robbery.
See, but that come in play because he started getting extorted after the robbery.
Yeah, so interference with commerce by robbery. That's the dispensary. Doesn't seem that serious.
Because that's illegal. They don't supposed to be operating anyway. And I think that because you got to contest that. Like, how are you giving me a case for a dispensary that y'all going after that's illegal? Whether I rob it or not, like, this is illegal. It don't supposed to be here. So how are you charging me for robbing something illegal? That's the type of games they play. This is an illegal dispensary. How am I being charged for robbing something illegal?
Well, the first thing I would ask, Munch, is how do we know it's an illegal dispensary?
I heard that.
Okay.
I heard that, man. It's so many. Everybody reporting on it. I couldn't even tell you where I heard of that, bro.
Well, actually, I don't think there's a such thing as an illegal dispensary.
Yeah, if it's operating illegally.
Yeah, I think there's a distinction between dispensaries that have the proper permits and those that don't. If it's illegal, they still are allowed to exist, basically. Half these dispensaries in our city don't have the proper permits.
Sure.
But they are allowed to exist.
Yeah.
So how illegal is it if the police and the feds drive by these dispensaries every day and don't do nothing?
What they do, random.
So this is what I'm saying. The feds play too many games, bullshit games, and like word games, you feel me? So this shouldn't even be on the feds' desk. This should be state because weed is legal on a state level. The feds don't see it as being legal. They still call it illegal. So you're charging me for robbing something illegal. I shouldn't even be getting charged for this. I should be fighting this on a state level. I shouldn't be fighting this on a federal level.
Okay, what about them taking the money? Because they said they took the marijuana, the money.
Okay, yes, I'll keep on forgetting that with the interstate commerce. Yeah, they try to get you with the money thing. Now that's what they doing.
And then they demanded the Rolex, but Robinson let them keep it. Let them keep the Rolex. I don't know why, but he let them keep the Rolex. So the money probably made it what it is, not the weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, it says here that Big-U, Robinson, and Martin, who's Bear Claw, and Termaine Williams committed and arranged robberies. So there's multiple robberies that they're going to link to Termaine in terms of this Hobbs Act violation. So I don't know if it's only the dispensary, but I do know the victim of the dispensary is providing information on that specific robbery. The other robberies are just from wiretaps and listening to the phones for the last, I don't know how long it doesn't give us the
So
date.
basically just charging him on robbery. So I could just been capping to you on the phone stating that I just robbed something and this is what I'm being charged with.
Well, listen to this. It says here, Big-U directs a robbery of and conspires to rob, and Robinson and Williams personally rob a marijuana dispensary at gunpoint. So despite that the marijuana dispensary is not legal, if you pull out a gun and you take the weed and take the money, that's still a violation of the Hobbs Act, I'm assuming.
And they did it bareface.
Despite if it's a legal or illegal dispensary. So they even have the date it happens, July 5th, 2021. Oh yeah, you're right. Unlicensed marijuana dispensary, they're calling it here. So,
but he said the story on No Jumper, the one that got took down because the cease and desist, but that's still floating around the internet. He said exactly what happened, and then the story victim number one put together is exactly what Termaine Ashley Williams. He is an idiot, bro.
He'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and the same niggas we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right? And we be like, how the f they get that? Oh well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cause it's actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police shit. I seen the nigga get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like shit like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like, I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because
this is high tech shit.
I'm his right hand man. You get what I'm saying?
He is an idiot, bro.
yeah, he told the story exactly the way it's in the indictment, but they got this from the victim. So they used what he said on No Jumper to corroborate what the victim, what the witness victim had already told the feds.
Right.
And here's the crazy thing right here. I'm going to tell you something. When I read this in very close detail. There would be no such thing as the Big-U Enterprise complaint by the feds if it wasn't for Rayshawn Williams' family addressing this to the police. The investigation into Big-U starts 2 weeks after Rayshawn Williams is killed. That's when the investigation starts.
Oh, so that's what put the feds on the Big-U.
Yeah.
Him being murdered.
But in 2020, it was stuff going on that's attached to this indictment also, though.
It was stuff in 2020, about 6 months before, they were investigating some rolling 60s for drugs and guns. So then fast forward to February 2021, they're like, wow, we got Big-U being accused of the Rayshawn Williams. So they tied the rolling 60s that were being investigated for what they were doing to this Big-U thing. So when you look at this indictment, all these 19 people, they're really involved in two separate conspiracies.
Couple separate.
Yeah, you could. What do you mean by a couple separate?
I mean, because what Brick Baby got going on with this dude that was coming back and forth selling guns ain't got nothing to do with Big-U.
Brick Baby is a third investigation.
Yeah, because see, even the guns they found on Brick Baby or at Brick Baby house, not even the guns that the dude was supposed to be selling to Brick Baby.
Well, actually, Brick Baby is tied into one of the dudes from the investigation that started in 2020, a guy named Bus. I guess they saying Bus is from 60s. You remember the guy named Bus?
That's who's selling. That's supposed to be selling the guns.
Yeah. So Bus and his crew were being investigated in 2020. Big-U had nothing to do with this until the family went to the police. Or actually, the police went to the family first just to say, hey, we found your son in Nevada, and this is what happened. And they immediately started pointing the finger.
Hey, this shit should be illegal to tie all these people in that don't deal with each other.
Okay, here's a good question for Ann. How many people were named in the Spokane thing?
62.
62. How many of those people did you not even know out of those 62? There had to be a handful of people that you're looking at these names and like, I don't know.
I think I know everybody, bro.
No, I didn't. Man, I knew all the homies on there. I knew both the snitches.
Snitch girl.
Yup.
And they a couple too. That's crazy.
Who else? Probably the only people I didn't know on there was probably some of the runner females and some of the snitches.
So there were some names when you were going through your discovery, you were like, who's this person?
For sure.
I don't know this person.
Yeah, when I was reading into the indictment, I start understanding who some of these people was. Like, okay, this was a fade, or this might have been a runner. But just seeing certain names, or sometime when we got arrested, seeing certain brawls. Like when we was coming through, when we first got arrested, when we was when they took us to Dodger Stadium, then we went to MDC LA. When I was even seeing people coming through there, and they was, who was that? You know what I'm saying? Who was that type stuff? So yeah, I definitely know. I didn't know everybody because, like I said, shit, I wasn't a part of that shit. The only thing that put me a part of that shit is who I am from A-Trade Gangsters and being out there.
But they made the 60 or so plus people look like a unified group that was conspiring all together.
Fortune 500 company equivalent to General Ford Motors. For sure. They had a whole pecking order, runners, carriers, distributors, you know what I'm saying, all type of shit. GM.
It looked like a store runner, bro. I got Jefe fucked up.
Now, when you was looking at,
crazy.
Remember when we were talking about this Munch, when they put out all the names and faces, we were saying, okay, some of these dudes are from 60s, but some of these guys are not from 60s.
Yeah, like when the 40s came to jail for their indictment, they had my boy from Brims with all the 40s. He went to court chained up with 3 40s, and he from 6's Brim. I used to be like, I don't know how you do it. But you know what happened like that? You get tied in.
Yeah, I think that's what happened here. They started the 2020 investigation. It had nothing to do with Big U. And then that thing happens in Vegas, and they decide, all right, this is what they did. They said, we're going to audit Big U's entire life. And they went through his bank records. They went through the nonprofit. They went through the PPP loan. They went through everything, and they made everything an offense. They found a little mistake. If you go through anybody's mortgage, I could tell you this. Go through everybody's mortgage loans that bought houses in the last year, thousands of people. You will find someone fudging the numbers. How much did you make last year? Well, if you say you made 10,000 more, I can get you eligible for this. If you say you made 15,000 more, I can get you eligible for that. Everybody does that.
I think they do that in everything, in every aspect.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's music. I don't care if you're trying to get an apartment, you get a paycheck stub, and like what you just said, they get done, period.
Yeah,
That being said, it'll be stuff like that that's the norm, but they take it and make it criminal activity when it comes to certain people.
Because
they doing the same shit.
They call it fraud. So let's say you make $140,000 a year, but your lender says, hey, if we put down you made $150,000, I can get you a better interest rate. All right, let's do it. It's no big deal. I think 90% of people do this in their mortgages. So they're looking at all the loans, but then what's crazy is the extortion stuff, which it looks tough. Yeah. It looks tough. I read through this thing a couple times, and I'm like, wow.
Free Big-U, man.
It looks pretty tough. But I wanted to quickly, let's just talk about the Hobbs Act. Robbery, interfering with interstate commerce. This is a federal offense, but to me, it seems like it's an easy way to take a state offense. Because anytime you rob a store, you're interfering with commerce. If I go rob this liquor store on the corner, the feds could hit me with the Hobbs Act if I'm tied into something else. What is the Hobbs Act, and when did this come into play?
The Hobbs Act, that my first time, don't quote me on it, but I think it's correct to say it probably came into play like around 2015, 2016, around the time a lot of people was hearing about that First Step Act. So the Hobbs Act robbery, when I first heard of it, it was helping a lot of people who had robberies, and a lot of people that I was seeing who had robberies, who've been down in the feds 15, 20 years, these bank robberies, you know what I'm saying? They was quoting these Hobbs Act robberies because it was making they sentence go down, you know what I'm saying, and right out putting them out the door, you know what I'm saying? So that was like the first time I became familiar with it. So what they've been doing and using it for now, as well as it helping people, everything in life got a gift and a curse. So the gift of it is it helps you in certain elements of robbery, you know what I'm saying, to where if they're trying to basically hit you with all these different, like, you know what I'm saying, these like elements, or just like trying to like hit you with what they call when they be trying to trump, basically I'm gonna say when they be trying to trump all these charges up on you. So the Hobbs Act robbery was bringing the numbers down, and now today the curse I've been seeing has been having on people to where like you would go rob a liquor store or rob a gas station or something, and to where we know that crime back in the days or a few years ago, that crime was punishable by you going to the state 5, 10 years, something like that, 3, 5 years, depending on how many times you've been to jail, how many times you committed a robbery. Now, that Hobbs Act, you know what I'm saying, they're merging that with commerce, and you'll go rob that gas station, and that gas station robbery will take you federal because all these laws were being passed in the feds from Hobbs Act, from the First Step Act, and it was putting all these people out. So the feds, I was watching it get empty before I came home. COVID hit, the Hobbs Act, the First Step Act, Hobbs Act robbery, all that stuff hit. It was emptying the feds out. People was going home in rapid numbers, so they was having to close a lot of units down in the feds. And here you got the state. The state is full packed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember when they had start sending people out of town to
Arizona, Oklahoma, Mississippi,
all that type of stuff. So the state stay packed to where the feds, people are getting out. They got to close some of these units down and stuff like that. So you know what? We got to fill this thing back up. Okay, this Hobbs step, Robbery Act, okay, commerce, he robbed that jewelry store. Oh, he robbed that gas station. Federal. You know what I'm saying? You're going federal now. So that's the curse of it, you feel me, to where it had originally came out and it was helping a lot of people. Now on this back end, people who's going to jail for it now, and they're not of them old robberies, man, they hitting you with it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to the States. You gonna do something that you think is state or small and minute, and you're going to end up in the feds. Like, man, I'll make it to the big league, man. It's a federal. And you're going to go to court, and your judge going to be like, man, interstate commerce and this and that. You're going to be like, huh, man, what's that? And be like, yeah, the money. And you're going to be like, oh, man, it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, and it's you know, it's a trick bag.
It's funny you saying that because when I was younger, I was like, for you to hit the feds, I thought you was like this type of person, this caliber of person, or you more sophisticated than the other. But then I got like the dirty homies hitting the feds for just a regular blick. I'm like, what he doing?
It used to be like that. Like you had to have a certain charge to hit the feds back in the days, or when you go to that feds, it was like kind of like a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Because you around the big money. But now anybody can go fed. Like it ain't like that no more because they emptying the feds out. Like all them dudes they was having back there, these drug lords, y'all was hitting dudes for all these drug crimes back in the days. They was all that. The jail started getting emptied out when that Hobbs Step first came out, and when the First Step Act came out, we probably can Google the numbers, how many people that put up out of jail. So, you know, that started decreasing number in business for them. They ain't got enough officers to work. They got to start laying people off. So, man, what could we do? Man, we got to start bringing some of these state people over. We got to figure out the loophole, how to, you know what I'm saying, coincide and make this state shit federal. Yeah. That's all they doing.
I remember seeing a lot of the gang indictments where the FBI and the LAPD come together to indict whether the Black P Stones, the Avenues, and what they end up doing is they share the arrest. They give half of them to the state and they give the other half to the feds so that everyone is happy at the end of the day. And I'm like, this is weird. Everyone did the same thing, but some of these guys go state and some of these other guys go federal.
I've seen that before.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like a juggle like this. It's just like, bro, you got people that get arrested every day for guns. Like, if they really want to be on bullshit, a lot of them guns can go federal. So that's why, like, to all you YNs out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, y'all better be careful. Like, when you get caught with certain weapons and you want to have a switch on the thing, when you take your deal, make sure when you taking your deal that you make sure they got that in writing, that you can't be charged by the feds after the fact, because you will go do your time. You know what I'm saying? You'll go do your state time. As soon as you finish with your state time, the feds will be right there at the door like, oh, yeah, come on. Now, we about to get you. Now you got to come do a whole nother sentence in the feds. You like, oh, man, it's double jeopardy. And they going to come with the loophole like, no, bow.
It's a different
you
charge.
To it to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different charge.
Sure. So, yeah. So you know, some people, like, you can go on your first offense, but some people go through the loophole. But, like, I think now we're going to start seeing more people go to the feds for guns.
That's how they caught, remember during, I guess you guys were too young, but when those LAPD officers got acquitted for beating up Rodney King, the feds picked up the case. It seemed like a double jeopardy, but they were like, no, we're charging you with violating the civil rights of Rodney King. That's a whole different charge, and they were able to convict those LAPD officers.
Never.
I never heard that. I never heard this in my life.
Remember, they all got
right?
Remember the
saying,
riot that started in your hood.
Look, I understand all
Okay,
that,
yeah.
but I'm saying I've never heard about them being re-indicted by the feds.
Yeah, they were found not guilty for excessive force. Then the LA went on fire. President George
Oh,
Bush.
yeah, okay.
President George Bush went on TV and said it was very disgraceful that that those LAPD officers got away with beating Rodney King. Trust me, we are going to the feds are going to look into it. And then they got charged with violating his civil rights, a federal charge, and that's when Stacey Koon ended up doing 36 months in the feds.
What is going on in LA must and will stop. As your president, I guarantee you this violence will end. And now let's talk about the beating of Rodney King, because beyond the urgent need to restore order is the second issue, the question of justice, whether Rodney King's federal civil rights were violated. What you saw and what I saw in the TV video was revolting. I felt anger. I felt pain. I thought, how can I explain this to my grandchildren? Civil rights leaders and just plain citizens fearful of and sometimes victimized by police brutality were deeply hurt. And I know good and decent policemen who were equally appalled. I spoke this morning to many leaders of the civil rights community, and they saw the video as we all did. For 14 months, they waited, patiently, hopefully. They waited for the system to work, and when the verdict came in, they felt betrayed. Viewed from outside the trial, it was hard to understand how the verdict could possibly square with the video. Those civil rights leaders with whom I met were stunned, and so was I, and so was Barbara, and so were my kids. But the verdict Wednesday was not the end of the process. The Department of Justice had started its own investigation immediately after the Rodney King incident and was monitoring the state investigation and trial. And so let me tell you what actions we are taking on the federal level to ensure that justice is served. Within 1 hour of the verdict, I directed the Justice Department to move into high gear on its own independent criminal investigation into the case. And next, on Thursday, 5 federal prosecutors were on their way to Los Angeles. Our Justice Department has consistently demonstrated its ability to investigate fully a matter like this. Since 1988, the Justice Department has successfully prosecuted over 100 law enforcement officials for excessive violence. I am confident that in this case, the Department of Justice will act as it should.
I think one guy got acquitted from the feds, but yeah, they end up going to the feds. But people were like, man, that's double jeopardy. No, they were found not guilty, but it wasn't. It was a different charge they got.
I think the police need to be held to a higher standard than us. So when they commit crimes, they punishment need to be tripled. Y'all, you sworn in. You're supposed to serve and protect. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to hold them dudes to a higher standard when they F up. That's what I believe.
For sure.
Okay, I want to play this one clip of Charisse. She's going to the jail.
Right.
She's going to the jail to see if Termaine, the fake Luce Cannon, is going to get bail. So she did a little vlog. Let's listen to what she had to say.
I'm nervous. I'm on my way now to go to my husband's arraignment to see if they'll give him bond. I heard that they gave others bond, so I'm praying that we get it. Pray for me, you guys. Pray for me. Do you guys think he's gonna get it? Comment down below. I'm out of breath and I haven't even really moved that much. I think it's just my nerves. For all of you guys that have been supporting and hashtagging Free Luce Cannon, we really appreciate your love and support. Definitely, we'll continue to repost and share your support daily.
All right. I think that is the end of that clip. And the first thing I'll say is, Charisse, you're out of breath.
It's still rolling.
Yeah, Charisse, you're out of breath because you like to eat too much. and I seen photos of you 5-6 years ago, and you were in decent shape, and you got to cut back on the food. And secondly, Termaine is not going to get any bail. The reason why is because he has a domestic violence warrant out of Riverside County that he's got to serve about 3 or 4 years on. That's a state case. And then don't forget that your boyfriend, not your husband, because he's still married to Gigi, by the way, and she's trying to finalize the divorce, Charisse. So you're actually a baby mama. Technically, you're a mistress because you're with a married man. But he's not going to get bail because he also has the no jumper assault. Those charges are going to be coming any day now. Believe me. So no, he will not get bail. Some of the other people have gotten bail. Some of them have already bailed out. At least 5 or 6 people are out right now. So what's your reaction to hearing her trying to go to the jail to see if he's going to get bail on the first court date?
Hey, look, bitch. Ain't nobody about to pray for you. You talking about pray for me. That's for one. Don't worry about putting that house up, you know what I'm saying, for collateral with bail, bro. Just change the sheets. I'll pull up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
no, I think Rick Rock he might beat you to it.
Oh, I'm after you, Rick Rock. Big team, like really, everything. Gigi, the real wife, she shitting on you. You feel me? On everything. You need to do some burpees, get your cardio up. You breathing too hard. You feel me on the set, man? Yeah, that's all, Charisse.
Hey, how did the bail hearings go when you first hit the feds? And usually you don't get bail on the very first day, right?
No, I didn't even see my first bail date. I don't even think it was really like a bail hearing. It was like a fake little arraignment by way of us waiting arrival to go to Spokane. So we just seen a magistrate basically to just like, just to see, someone of the United States to bond us to be, stay in jail. And then once we got out there to Washington, like, no, I don't even think, because I had to go to a scheduled bail hearing. My bail hearing had to be scheduled. Like, I asked for it, and then, so you can ask for it, then they got to schedule a bail hearing for you. So that's how I remember my bail hearing, but it wasn't as early as no first court date. Hell no.
So all you guys had no bail when you first got arrested?
Yeah.
Did anyone get bail and then actually make it and fight the case from the streets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah. They let a lot of people out. They let so I got bail. The only reason why they didn't let me out was because the address that I had, they didn't want to let me go to LA. So the address that I had provided in Washington, when they had looked the address up, they was like that the address was unstable because the person address I was asking to go to, I guess that a few years prior to me catching the case, whoever was at the address, they was dealing with somebody that was being investigated by the feds before they demise. You know what I'm saying? So they like, oh, well, this person, we was investigating this person. So it was a person from Long Beach. They said they was investigating for pills. So they like, we was investigating this person for pills. And it was just like a whole bunch of BS so that I might be tied into this person who I didn't know died 3 years before I came out here. But I guess they used to deal with this person, you know what I'm saying, at this address. So they was like, oh, no, it's like the same little thing. So they denied my bail. But if you had a suitable address and stuff like that, they let a gang of my co-defendants out.
So they wanted you, if you were going to bail out, they wanted you to stay in Washington for the whole thing?
They was trying to make me stay in Washington. They was letting everybody else go to L.A.
Okay.
Hey, I hit one of the females on this indictment, man. She knows she is. Shout out you, baby. Yeah.
What, on the Spokane one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're gonna do Termaine like they did Diddy. Diddy had 3 bail hearings. Well, he's in MDC Brooklyn. They denied him at every level of the hearing, so he's not getting out.
Puffy should just look worse because the bail package he put together was crazy.
I thought it was a decent bail package. Turning over passports. What else did he?
I'm still trying to figure out why they even offer to turn over his kids' passports. What do they got to do anything?
Let's say he wants to flee with his family, and he's going to take his family to where Run DMC's brothers at. I mean, Russell Simmons.
If they take your passport, how you gonna flee with your family?
No, I'm saying if they don't take your passports,
right,
you have the ability to travel around the world.
No. I said, okay, I can see them taking Puffy passport, but why are they talking about taking his kids also?
Because what if he wants to travel and flee and become a fugitive and have his family with him?
he can't leave without his passport initially. So I'm saying, why take theirs? Why not just take his?
Because maybe he was going to have one of his sons come with him and go on the run. So if his son don't got a passport, he can't go.
But Munchie said if they taking Diddy passport,
Yeah.
why would you need to take the kid's passport? Diddy, your passport already.
Oh, okay.
Why you rendering everybody else's passport?
Right.
Well, maybe that's a question you could answer. Why would the feds want everybody's passport?
I mean, that seemed like something Diddy doing. Like, that's his package he put together. Like, look, man, y'all can have my passport. Y'all can take my kid's passport. And the only reason I can think of him saying that is if he was going to try to flee under one of the kids, like try to like do some fraud, like or try to use their information to flee up under their information. Like, look, y'all can have all this, man. I ain't even on my mind trying to do no trickery, man. I'm going to be right here. I just want to be out.
Right, because he looked just like one of them sons.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
he mighta-
He also was going to pay for security to watch him, monitor with a bracelet. I mean, everything that you can do, he was willing to do it, and they still denied him.
Yeah, because the feds they don't need your money. So they don't care about his mama house, the other house, the $50 million, or the passports. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about that, but he comfortable now. He settled in. Because at some point in jail, you get comfortable. You settle in like a pilgrim. But, of course, you want to go home.
He's probably not used to seeing all that gray hair and gray beard on his face, though. You know?
You better start working out and pick that goddamn tablet up and start listening and buy all the music you can buy off the computer.
About to be Diddy Bop right there.
Me, every step I take up in there. You feel?
Ain't no shiny jacket right there. But I'm telling you, I'm the only person in the world talking about free Diddy.
Yeah, you are.
No, free that man, bro. Because I don't like you know what I'm saying? They be tainting the jury pool by throwing these videos out there and, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so in terms of this bail, how is Termaine? Termaine is unique out of all these 19 guys because one, he has a domestic violence warrant out of Riverside County. That's a state case, and he's also going to get charged with the Burbank case. But I believe the Fed case is probably the priority at this point, right?
4 of them was already in custody.
Oh yeah, some of them were already in custody. But what if Riverside says, "Hey, he needs to do 4 years for the domestic violence warrant that we have him on"? What do the feds say to Riverside?
The feds trump everything. Once the feds come into play, they don't care what the state got going on. The feds gonna come holler at you, and after they finish with you, the feds can give the state. They gonna give the state liberty to handle what they want to handle, and they're gonna figure out amongst each other and amongst your legal counsel and what time you gonna do first, or if the time is ran bow-legged, they're gonna figure out what time you ran first. You know what I'm saying? But being your legal counsel, you know what I'm saying, trying to get you the best deal, he's gonna try to see if he can get all that ran concurrent to where you can just go, you know what I'm saying, all right, you out here in the feds, you know what I'm saying, you finish your Fed thing, you know what I'm saying, and then, I could just be over here doing the state thing, you know what I'm saying, to where we gonna just, you know what I'm saying, get you a deal over here and run it all concurrent. But if it's bow-legged, it just really, you know what I'm saying, depends on what the feds want to do, you know what I'm saying, like if they want to get their little time out you first, you know what I'm saying, more than likely they gonna get their little time out you and then shoot you to the state and let the state do what they do.
And for the viewers, bow-legged mean consecutive. So after this time, you got to do the time after that.
Okay, so let's say Burbank wants to put him on trial, and the feds got him first. So let's say the feds they find him guilty of this Hobbs Act. He's guilty. Does he go to trial in state court after he's found guilty in feds, or does he have to finish? He has to do this time in the feds first, then they send him to the state to go on trial for the state case.
No, shit, he can like soon as he's finished with the state, like as soon as he's finished with all that and is wrapped up and he got his time and all that, shit, you know, they can
Send him to the county.
send him right to the county and let him get that process
Yeah,
started.
because they got fresh witnesses. They don't want to wait for him to do whatever 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
So
they ain't gonna make him to wait to finish his time. But let's just say we sentence him to 3 years. All he got to do is 3 years before he come over there and do that process with y'all. No, it's just about them getting him sentenced. Like, okay, we got you sentenced. Let's say we got you sentenced to 60 months. All right, bam. Now, okay, the state want to holler at you.
Yeah. Now, what do you recommend in terms of these deals that the feds are offering? Because I know you took a deal on the Spokane case, but in hindsight, you think that you might have got some love if you would have took it to trial because you wouldn't have got more time, and you was facing the same amount of time, right?
But be particular though. You said what advice you got?
Yeah, because
it's too many people to like be particular, like a certain.
Well, I think that in Ant's example, he took a deal, but the amount of time that he took on the deal was not that much different from if you would have took it to trial, right?
Like this the thing, right? So initially, they didn't have shit on me, so that's why they was coming with all these narratives, trying to paint these narratives.
And we got to assume that the people in this Big-U enterprise, they don't got a lot of stuff on them too. Some of these people, they got weak cases.
Yeah, they offered me 6 years. So I didn't even have to do 10 years. Like, I did 10 years for the homies. You feel me? Like, I don't blame nobody or no shit like that, but I did 10 years for the case because I didn't even have to go to no goddamn Frank's motion. The Frank's motion was the wiretap here. I didn't have to go there. My phone wasn't tapped. They didn't have no tap phone calls with me. They had phone calls with my name in everybody's mouth. It's speaking on me. So I didn't even have to go to that hearing. I could have just took my 6 years and like, yeah, y'all go ahead and do that. But I try to help the homies out. But damn, what was the question?
About taking the deal on the trial.
Oh yeah, so with me, yeah, my mouthpiece was telling me, my lawyer was telling me, but I didn't believe it because, you know, me doing state time and all that, I didn't believe what he was saying when he told me that it's a possibility that if I go to trial and even if I lose, I'm going to get less time than the 10 years. That sounded ludicrous because in the state, like shit, you go to trial, if the state, they offering you 15 years and you go to trial and lose, man, you about to get hit probably with like a 30 piece or something, like double. So I'm thinking it's something like that. And I'm thinking that this lawyer is trying to play me, but the whole time he was feeding me good game. He was like, man, let's go to trial, ready to go to trial. He said, man, you go to trial, even if you lose, you're not going to get 10 years. And I'm looking at him like, man, what the hell is you talking about? How? But he was correct. All my homies that lost trial, but Schoolboy, all of them got under the time. I took a deal. All of them lost trial and got under 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I would have lost trial and probably got 8 or got that 6 that they was originally offering that y'all really only had evidence on. You know what I'm saying?
So why didn't you just take the 6 from the beginning and just call it a day?
They didn't have shit.
You didn't hear me? I try to help the homies. They didn't have nothing. I didn't want to take the 6 and then I try to help the homies. Like, you feel me? I'm like, shit, man, look, I'm going to ride this out. Let me go to this Frank motion because they supposed to throw it out. But that was their whole case. They weren't about to, they showed right there and like, man, we not about to throw out no motherfucking million phone calls. The phone calls is our case. If we throw this out, we got no case. So that's when I like found out right there, like, man, the feds come with all type of unethical approaches. They don't care. They not going to have no integrity with you. You're a criminal. They don't care about violating the law to get you. You know what I'm saying? We got you. We did that. Take it up in the pill now. I'm saying.
Okay, so what about a guy that's facing the Hobbs Act? I mean, the range is from 5 to 20. You can take it to trial. Will they really max you out if you take them to trial on an offense that has a range of 5 to 20?
Now you got to be found guilty of all charges. Like, and I don't even think I don't even really just see nobody found guilty on all charges. Like, some of them jurors gonna be like, I don't think he guilty on this count or that count. So, like, let's just say if he go and he's found guilty of a Hobbs Act robbery, is he gonna get 20 years? I don't see 20 years for that little ass robbery, Hobbs Act. He probably get hit with like the low end at 5 piece or something like that.
But the reality is most of these 19 people are gonna get offered a deal at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Luce Cannon go tell, bro.
See, that's what the feds is. See, a lot of people give them all the credit in the world with this conviction rate. You the one really doing it. You convicting yourself. See,
That's
like it ain't that the technology they have, or just because they the feds that they got this conviction rate. It's like, no, like
Nobody go the distance.
Exactly. Nobody goes the distance. People rarely go the distance with them. And then when you do go the distance with them, they get mad and come with all these unethical approaches. Like, oh, okay, well, we about to indict your mama. You sent your mama some money over here. Then we going to hit her with money laundering. They play all these weird games. So that really be having motherfuckers like, man, you know what, man, I'm about to just get about these people way and stop playing with them because now y'all trying to bring my baby mama in and my mama in and they don't got shit to do with nothing. And y'all know that. But just because I sent them some money that y'all was saying that is drug money, or they was laundering and cleaning the money for me, or they a part of it. Like, man, get that shit up out of here. So that's the games they play.
I'm gonna see if Adam want to bet that Luce Cannon go snitch. So I believe he gonna tell. It ain't like somebody that been in it their whole life and they ain't about to ruin their reputation because, nigga, I've been doing this for this long. They don't even accept you. You's a weirdo. You're not really from over there. Your daddy is snitch. What reason you have to even keep it G?
Maybe he's over there in what's the name of that place again? In Nevada, Pahrump. What's
Pahrump.
Pahrump? Maybe he's already in Pahrump making statements. Will they interrogate you in Pahrump?
I mean, they can come see you anywhere. They
Yeah.
can come see you in Pahrump, but like really, they probably would have got the interrogation out the way when he over there in like Henderson or Las Vegas. But for real, he ain't even went through the process yet. Like he ain't even went through the process yet. But like I said, when they first pick you up, they gonna try to interrogate you. Like when they first got me, they try to take me in like a little trailer at the Dodger Stadium and ask me if I had anything to say, and I'm just like, nah, I'm like, what I'm arrested for? Like, well, okay, yeah, nah, I'm good. I ain't never been out there.
The dude on the YouTube channel said you stayed in that interrogation room for a long time.
No, he definitely didn't say that. He said some other people. He didn't say I stayed in no interrogation room.
He said one guy left in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
He said
he
you
was
was in there for like an
He
hour.
said G Stutter
snitches.
G Stutter stayed for a very little time, right?
Yeah.
And
Then
then I
Stutter
think,
spent a lot of time with me, but Schoolgirl and Lil Cy, who told, they was in the room for a long time.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I wasn't in
yours,
no room.
yours was a short, like the
Man,
other?
I wasn't in. No, I didn't even go in no room when they came to me, called my name. What? Nah, nah, ain't nothing to talk about.
He didn't say nothing about him. He said somebody else's name, and he went in and out. The other one, Sidewinder, he stayed in there bigging it. He might have got a cigarette, a Pepsi, and
Yeah, I know what he said. Like that's what he said. He like basically G Stutter kept it real. G Stutter spent a lot of time under Young Ant Jefe. You know what I'm saying? He like G Stutter went right in that room. You know what I'm saying? He came right out, but he like he said they name. He like, man, they was in the room for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And this and that. Yeah.
Hey, how come people don't just do it like the that motorcycle gang in Texas did it? 100 guys from that motorcycle gang all got arrested. Guess how many gave statements when they was in jail?
None of them.
None of them.
That's history, though.
If nobody gives a statement, there's no case.
That'll never happen again.
It's a weak case. I won't say there's no case. It'll just be a very weak case. You know, it'll be telephone calls that they're going to interpret one way and your lawyers can interpret it another way.
It would never happen again.
But when you got the witnesses and people telling, that's what makes the case so strong. And I was just surprised at that. Those motorcycle dudes, they shot up, they killed some people. And they
man, they was really down for the cause and they was really committed. Like, I ain't gonna even lie, certain like branches and like certain ethnicities, like they understand certain things that blacks don't, bro. Like for real. Like definitely when it comes to like being poised and having integrity, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not pointing like, cause our people, we ain't just everybody snitch. So I'm just talking about just like on a whole overall perspective. So it's just like, you know, the motorcycle games like Hell's Angels, a certain way, you know, they've been through that training. That shit really be like a brotherhood, you feel me? Like to where this gang shit, this shit and like been uncontrollable, like, you know what I'm saying? It just branch off after branch off after branch off, you know what I'm saying? I think when stuff is like a smaller sector, you know, it can be more poised.
Yeah, them close neighborhoods is they more together. I think it's messed up when hoods got sides and streets, that messed things up. Like 20s, they got the avenues, 27, all this shit. They got 9 dudes, Inglewood, Family, 77th Street. They got the north side, the far west. Like when they do all these little fractions, I think that would cause division and be too many chiefs, bravado, betrayal, jealousy. One umbrella is always better.
Yeah. I wanted to play a clip from this No Jumper interview between Trapler Ross and Whack 100. They're talking about the DNA in this Big-U case. Now, we all heard your favorite YouTuber, 600, saying that there was DNA found under the fingernails that match Big-U.
So, dude, they've been trying to get his DNA. So we looked it up. They've been trying to get his DNA for a while now. He's been denying it. The feds came and got involved in the case. And they sent the search warrant. They had to get a warrant to get his DNA. When they got his DNA, it matched the DNA that was found under the dead body's fingernails. You know, so that's tied him to it, you know what I mean?
His name 1200 now. He running with 12.
His DNA matches Big U found under the fingernails, and Wack and 600 both talked about this. And when Traplo Ross was on the show with Wack, he brought it up, saying, "Hey, it didn't turn out to be true." Let's play that clip.
We're warning him. I'm gonna be real. If somebody took my DNA a year or so ago, after a year, 18 months, I'm thinking ain't nothing of it. I'm not even thinking that my skin's under about a dude's nails. And I hear the family say they found his DNA under the nails. I hear that. That's gonna be alarming to me.
That did turn out to not be completely true, though, right?
No, it was completely
From
true.
the complaint, it said that the DNA that was found, it couldn't confirm that it was Big U, but it couldn't rule it out too. Whereas they could rule out the other individual, right?
No. I don't know where you saw that at.
I really saw it. It said that it wasn't completely confirmed that it's Big U's DNA. That's what I'm seeing, and there's still no.
There's no.
confirmation.
Listen.
They said it was inconclusive or something like that, right?
So, do you want me to read it out?
Go ahead.
Read out.
Okay, so wait, the DNA profile. So DNA was connected from RW's ankle/sock area, consistent with the direction that RW was dragged into the desert off the highway.
Oh.
The DNA profile obtained was not complete, likely due to the aforementioned inclinement on whether the due to the inclement weather on the night of the murder. So the weather and the way that the body was left overnight, I guess in the cold, in the wind or whatever, meant that the DNA profile wasn't able to be completed. So it says analysis of Henley's DNA profile, Big U, was inconclusive such that he could not be excluded as the contributor of the DNA, but it couldn't be confirmed. And Robinson, on the other hand, was excluded as a potential contributor of the DNA. So it wasn't confirmed, but it couldn't be excluded.
Do you know who Robinson is?
Robinson.
That's the driver.
Mm-hmm.
That's the driver who told them they drove to L.A., picked the kid up, where they took him, and how he was killed. So when you got something that says you're not excluded, well, it could have been you, maybe not. But then you got the dude with you who gave DNA once they brought him in. Big U didn't know it. And they show, you didn't touch the body. That means he's identified Big U as a killer. That's who really told on him.
But all I'm saying is that, from what I understand, the DNA thing, to make the statement Big U's DNA was found under his fingernail.
That's been running in the media a lot.
That's not been conclusively proven as true.
These mics are kind of sensitive, so you might want to pull it in a little more.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's what
You got to remember, we didn't make.
They've been saying that as a headline since Wack started talking about it.
You got to remember, we didn't make the statement. We just played the recording.
But this is the thing. Do you feel like it's kind of overcooking Big U's involvement? Now, obviously, it's an open case. It's unresolved, right? But the headline of DNA found under fingernails is a little overshooting.
What's the difference in what you did?
Because this says it can't confirm it.
Listen, you know I'm allowing you to question me right now, right?
I appreciate it.
Because you did some punk shit the other day. See, the only difference is you usually do what you did the other day sitting over there in London somewhere, right? And you're not here, right? It's a lot of places you can't go. You send Adam something as if it was a clip of something I did I wasn't supposed to do.
No, he sent me a screenshot of a page from the indictment.
Okay, that's cool.
Where Big U was recorded on a wiretap, basically
receiver.
saying that he punked you out with a whole bunch of people, and it had
no,
a
it was a
quote
receiver.
that he attributed to you, but it
well,
wasn't an actual video or recording. This was Big U's version of events.
Hold on. You're the receiver. So since you read everything, right? Now tread lightly with this, because I've been telling myself for the last couple minutes not to really do nothing to you because I know what you was trying to do.
Okay.
So since you so thorough, did you read what Big U said he did to me? No, either you gonna play smart or dumb. Did you read it?
Yes. Can I say one
What
thing?
did you
Can I say one
find
thing in my
there
defense first?
That's the bullshit and the real shit.
But can I say one thing in my defense
I
first?
just want to know what you read.
I feel like stuff that Adam said that he put source on top of. I just sent him an image of the indictment and said, "Have you seen this?" You went in the room and you said a bunch of stuff.
No, you said in that page.
Added on.
You said in that page. So I'm asking you, you're just gonna let me know where you at with me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read that and did you use your brain to understand why and why not? So I'm a dude that just violated Big U like no other human being, right? Violated him.
For sure.
2-3 years, right?
That's such a claim to fame now that Big U is like the ultimate bad guy of LA.
No.
Him being able to say that he violated is like him saying he went up against Al Capone.
No.
To tell the tale.
No, you got to remember, I don't see Big U the way y'all see Big U.
I know.
Big U done sat on my couch with his head down, scared straight in situations where he needed our help at. I don't see him that way. A motherfucker who I had to pay rent and help take care of his family, who then sat on my couch and said, help me. I don't see that dude as that, right?
Now, first of all, we seen how he just deflected.
Yeah, he deflected Traveler
Traveler
Ross
Ross proved his
questions.
point that it was inconclusive and it wasn't no DNA positively under his nails. Then he said Sylvester and deflected and said that's how he tied it in, although it's inconclusive. And then completely spent the narrative and got to talking about himself because he read exactly what was in the indictment about him trying to plead for Big-U to leave him alone. I don't like Big-U, bro, and Traveler Ross don't need to sit down with everybody because, man, he from the UK and they bullying the dude. I don't like that shit, man. I don't like bullies, bro.
Yeah, I played that just to show that all this information about DNA that they were saying on the internet before these arrests happened were 100% incorrect. There is inconclusive DNA for Big-U. The Robinson's DNA is completely excluded. So I'm not sure. I mean, the feds can play a dirty game and say that inconclusive doesn't mean he's not the one, you know. But the narrative that they were running with was not true.
I shouldn't get mad listening to people. This get me hot, bro.
Okay, and the last thing I want to mention before we wrap this up was this is an incident that happened here in LA between WAC and the 60s, and I've heard this come up many times, but it's surprising that it's actually in this complaint because of the wiretaps, because of the cell phone monitoring that the feds did. So on July 9th, 2022, the feds were listening to Big-U talking to Victim 1 about an incident with Henley in the Rolling 60s chasing down WAC 100, attempting to hurt him. There's 15 to 20 niggas with us with hoodies tied down. I got my hoodie on, all black, tied down. She like, boom. She jumped in the car, paid for, and then took off. Boom. This nigga screaming, my wife, draws. I see you, Eugene. I see you. Eugene Henley, I see you. He's screaming all that. He's got his blower out, but he's fucked up because nobody's around. We like, bitch ass nigga. I'm like, yeah, bitch ass nigga. He like, die here, man. Don't do this. My wife, my kids in that car. Draws. Don't do this. He's screaming. This is in the actual complaint. The feds decided that this was an important part to put in this complaint because they wanted to show that he was pressing whack. They wanted to show him as a monster. But it just corroborates the story that we've already heard, Munchie, of what happened at the, this was the Novo?
Yes, sir. When Tony Jaws gave him like a 2.5 piece and he ran off the stage.
Is that the incident with Kanye was present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, apparently Wack was getting ran down on.
You don't have some of the biggest artists in the world performing and you just run and hop off the front of the stage while they perform it. Game and Lil Wayne is performing, bro. You hop your boyhead ass off the stage with $1 billion running through the crowd. You was in distress, man.
And anybody interested in this is page 84 of the complaint, which is 107 pages. But I just found that part entertaining.
Hey, before we get up out of here, I just don't like that. Like people, maybe they want to grow up and be gangbangers or something, right? And they might think what these dudes doing, like 600 and whack 100, that's what gangbangers do, and that's the bad representation. And you might be misleading somebody to go get involved with some shit and have them doing it the goofy way and get hurt, and that ain't right, bro. I know, it's some weird people that want to take a picture with 600 or something, but like that ain't straight. He ain't living right. Neither one of them dudes. And shit, man. I don't know, man.
All right, well, on that note, we'll call it a day. I mean, I could talk about this complaint, this 107-page complaint, all day long. But Young Ant, let the people know where they can tap in with you and what you got coming up next.
Oh, man, y'all already know, man. If y'all don't know, man, y'all already know I got that daily content dropping, man, on Young Ant Jefe, you know what I'm saying, Jagged TV, man, 7850, man, check me out, man. Y'all already know, I don't care about number what the check say. Y'all can also hit me on the gram, you know what I'm saying, if you will, at Young, YONUNG _ANT @_ Jefe, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got this mixtape coming within like the next 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to drop this mixtape, you know what I'm saying, with the check say. I already been dropping the singles, you feel me? I got the visuals on the way. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at with it. Y'all already know, and the content's every day.
Hey, be on the lookout for the Gangsta Party podcast with me and Young Ant Jefe, you know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
So,
Oh, the Gangsta Party podcast is coming soon?
Most definitely. We in there. We definitely got something popping.
Okay. And have you guys done a song together already?
No, we ain't did no music yet.
Oh, okay.
Nah, not yet.
No, because I said this to you before when we did the interview. You got some bars. He's a spitter over there.
Hey, I was clowning them about one song, but that's the song I like the best, though. The Cali Dreaming. I was calling like, yeah, the homie be tricking. But no, that's what it's called, Cali Dreaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I like. I'm an R&B thug, bro. I be liking that Fabulous type sound and all that little shit. But no, Cali Dreaming, that's hard.
And Munchie got some hard songs too. So yeah, if you guys come together on a song, I know that's gonna be a joint.
No, we're gonna put something together for sure.
All right, and Munchie B, tell the people where they can hit you up at.
Man, follow up, man. Help me get them subscribers up. RakeYourHeart _TV, man. I'm coming with all the content. You know, so I'm telling the stories, and you know what I'm saying? Stories you can't dispute. I ain't trying to offend nobody or nothing like that. I'm learning from these other YouTubers. Yep, tap in or tap out.
And you've been going back and forth with a few people, but hopefully the content's gonna be coming a little less confrontational.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I gotta exercise discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you from, you don't get hit, it don't hit back. So I'm gonna just try to exercise some discipline and ignore some people. That's all.
And seems to stay away from the back and forth. Although you did do one against Damian Porter, but that was kind of like clearing the air.
Yeah, I do. Right. I give everybody a fair shot, man. Like even people that people like to look at as small or minute. You feel me? If you respond or you do something, I might respond one time, but I ain't gonna even lie. I've been falling out of the appetite in effect to be responding to certain things at all, because a lot of shit is like really beneath me and I shouldn't be responding to a lot of shit. So yeah, I don't be like with the fake confrontation, because I don't know. I ain't with the fake smoking, like the edge these dudes be trying to come with, like the street edge on social media. I ain't with that. I'm like too quiet. I'd rather just, you know what I'm saying, see you when I see you. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, just leave it social media.
And on that note, I want to thank everybody for tapping in with Straight Politicking. We're on all audio platforms, Spotify, iHeart, and Apple. If you're listening to us on Apple, I appreciate all the people listening. Leave us a comment and review. If you're tapping in with us on YouTube, of course, leave a comment. And we out.